Welcome everybody to the Dream Live event. We're really excited to have you all here. It's an exciting day, exciting weekend, lots of fun stuff going on. And I just want to thank you all for taking the time to travel from far and wide, planes, all sorts of stuff to get here. We really appreciate it. So who came the furthest? So if you have anybody that came from Hawaii this year? No? All right, how about Canada? No? All right, California. Stand up if you flew from California. Yay! All right, let's see, Florida, right? You guys from Florida? Yep. Yay. Woo! All right, where else? Where else would be really, really far away? Washington! Woo! So you really made a commitment, and we really appreciate you being here. We do. So we plan to deliver and provide you with a couple of hours of really great training. I have some amazing leaders that are up here today to talk to you about their success in their business, to give you some tips and some teachable tools that you guys can go back and really use in your business for this upcoming year. So a couple of announcements before we get started. We're going to take a large group picture at the end, so don't bug out at the end before we do that. And then if you would like to do team pictures, if you'd like to have each of your individual teams come up here, you can do that too at the end. We have a photographer that's going to take them, and you'll be able to access all of those pictures after the fact. The other thing is we're doing the last half hour is a Q&A. So did anybody put questions out there on that sheet of paper? Yes, some? Okay, if you didn't, then please keep them in your mind or write them down, because at the end we'll kind of go through questions, and you can pick a speaker or a leader that you would like to answer, or it can just be all. All right, so keep that in mind as we go. Alrighty, so let's get started. We have our very first speaker. We have Val Bazo. She comes to us from Mississippi. And she is a 5-star diamond. She's an elite coach. And she's a mama, and she's going to sing. Thank you. You guys hear me? Yeah. Awesome. Hey. Hey guys, good morning. So, as Mel said, my name is Val Bazo. I am a 5-star elite diamond coach, and I'm also
I'm a military spouse, and I also have my bachelor's degree in sports medicine. My why in this business is pretty solid. It's freedom. Freedom to be able to travel, freedom to be able to work from home, make my own hours, not be away from my kids whenever they have their soccer games, their ballet lessons, and really just being there for them, especially when my husband is employed. Also, financial freedom to be able to really make my own hours and to, hopefully God, sorry, to be able to set my own hours and just be free to do whatever we want to do. Now we switch to slide. So some of you may be interested in knowing how I became a coach. I was invited by an acquaintance, and she invited me to hear more about the coaching opportunity. I was interested because really I had done Beachbody programs for about 7 years, and I just wanted to know more about what coaching would be like. So I said yes. As she sent me some more information, my skeptic brain set in. Like, this has to be too good to be true. No way can I make money while I'm working from home. But once she told me that I could sign up for free because we were in the military, I decided to just jump in. Why not? What did I have to do? So from that moment on, I had that feeling that I could just do more, and I was just going to take baby steps to go ahead and get there. So really the next step is creating confidence. So creating killer confidence, I want to be able to help explain to you guys what confidence means to me. The Webster's Dictionary defines confidence as a feeling or a belief that you can do well or succeed at anything. When I first started this business, I kind of thought that I could just do it on my own. You get into your back office and you see all of this information, and it gives you all these steps on how to become a great coach. But the one thing that it really doesn't tell you is the simplest part about it is just growing your confidence, taking the positives and the negatives and just turning them everything into positives. We can all have, bad days and bad weeks, and we can all have those fears that start going through our minds, like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at inviting. Everybody's saying no to my challenge groups. You'll hear that. I'm sure you all hear that a lot. The confidence that comes from your personal development, the confidence that grows as you really start to believe in yourself, the confidence that grows from when you start to believe in other people, and the people who do start to join your challenge groups, who do want to join your coaches. That is what it's all about. It's about belief, and it's about a decision that you make to create this business because anyone can do it. So while I feel like I've always had a pretty positive outlook on life, I was not born with this crazy amount of confidence. It has grown and developed from the very first day I started as a coach because I started to take my personal development seriously. I used to care so much about what other people thought of me. No way 2 years ago, if someone asked me to get up on stage to talk to you, would I have said yes? There's no way. I would have thought about what you were thinking of me while you sat out there. My hair color, my size, anything. I would have been petrified. Today, I can stand up here with my shoulders held straight, and I can just talk to you about my business because personal development has got me to where I am. A great saying that I read in my personal development was, I can't pay my bills with other people's opinions. I'm here for the freedom. I'm here so I don't have to answer to a boss. Every single one of you guys can be here. The same position, you decide what rank you want to be, what kind of coach you want to be, how many people you want to help. There's never a limit on your success. So remember that. Success is built with confidence. So from the moment I made the decision to start growing my confidence and growing my business, my mindset changed, and those baby steps kind of started going a little bit faster. And I just literally have told myself that confidence is a job requirement. It really is. Confidence is the first step in the right direction. Ask yourself this. Do you lead with your heart? Are you in the right mindset right now? Confidence is key. What are you going to do to change your mindset, to make yourself start believing that you can be where you want to be? If you're sitting here as a brand new coach, as an emerald coach, A diamond coach. Where are you going to be next week, next month, next year? Goals, you have to set goals. Goals are a priority. I had no idea how to set goals whenever I first started. I honestly, that was the first thing that kind of made me hide, made me kind of step back in my business. Whenever someone said, what kind of goals do you want to have? I was a mom. I was a wife. I am a wife. I am a mom. But I had lost myself once I got married, once I had kids. I had given everything that I could to my family. So whenever someone asked me about me, I actually got embarrassed because I didn't know who I was and what I wanted in life anymore. So setting goals, I literally started with getting my Shakeology uniform. And then I said, I want to be able to help contribute $100 to our grocery bill each month. I started hitting those goals, and it felt really good. So then I started getting my goals and making them a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Last year, December, I was a brand new diamond coach. I said, I want to be 5-star elite by the end of next year. 5-star elite. No idea how I was going to get there. I had 2 emeralds on my team. Now, I have 6, almost 7 diamonds on my team, and it's just growing. 17 of my teammates are here today. Confidence, guys. And it just grows. Okay? Be positive, like I've already said. You have to realize that you make it till you make it. Okay? Don't worry about what other people think. If you don't know a question, you're typing on a computer. Generally, most of the time, you can message your upline, message somebody else in the business, say, hey, I have no idea what body piece is. Can you tell me something about it? Because my client here who might want to buy a challenge pack, that's the program that they want to use. Or if they have any kind of questions, you guys, just ask. We're always here to help. Don't focus on the things you don't have. Focus on what you have all of the tools that we have available, Every single one of you has everything that you need to become a great coach. So get rid of the negative. Look at the long haul versus the short term. Don't sign up as a coach and say, I'm going to try this out. You sign up as a coach and you say, this is my job. Act as if someone just hired you on in the corporate world and you have to work to provide for your family. That's what this job is all about. Don't say, I'm going to give it 2 months, 3 months. No, it takes 6 months to a year to really kind of fully grasp it all. I cried for the first 3 weeks of my business. Cried. I opened the back office. I'm like, what is this? I have no idea what I just got myself into. But again, I didn't take advantage of my upline who was offering coach apprenticeship groups. I didn't even know what the word apprentice meant. No joke. So I was confused by the whole thing. But I threw away the excuses. I'm a prime example of someone who could have wallowed in my sorrow. My upline is not active. I never had a getting started right call. I joined Melanie's coach apprenticeship group 2 months into my business after she reached out and kind of offered it to the whole dream team. What else? I never had any kind of an upline call whatsoever until last December when I was diamond. And Mel noticed. Mel was the one who reached out to me. She's like, hey, if you want to talk goals for 2014, I'm open for a phone call. I built this business by myself. I really have. I threw away the excuses. I have no upline help. So that means I have no volume. I don't have a strong leg. I've built both of my legs myself. So you guys have no excuses. Throw them out. If you want this, you're willing to work for it, you can do it. The best part, be yourself. You have to be you. You cannot be like the person sitting next to you. You're not Melanie Mitro. You're not Katie Ersta. You are you. People want you. They don't want a product. They're getting the challenge pack. They're getting the product just because they want you as their coach. You have to realize that. It took me a while. Like I said, I'm standing up here 2 years later because I've learned these things along the way. Once you become confident, you learn to be yourself. That is when the magic starts to happen. So my reality check. Next, we're going to lead into inviting with a purpose. You have to invite. That's what this business is. Treat your business like a business. We are all afraid to send those invitations out. Trust me. I know. I sent my first one, and I literally sat there probably for 30 minutes before I hit the send button. What did they say? Yeah. I'm sweating. My palms are sweaty. I don't even know what I'm doing. This person's going to think that I think they're fat because I'm invited to a challenge group for health and fitness. So finally get into personal development, which personal development, I'll be honest with you, I didn't take it serious in my business until almost 3 months in because I was going to defy all odds. I knew that the back office info was crap and I could do it way better. So my first month in the business, I got 8 Success Club points because I bribed all the friends who knew I had done Beachbody for 5 years, 6 years, whatever it was. I bribed them into joining my challenge group. So then in June, whenever it meant business, I ran out of friends who would purchase anything. I got Success Club too, but I was trying. I was trying hard. No, I was not doing my 3 vital behaviors. I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. So that month I got Success Club 2, made excuses, felt sorry for myself. And then July was a cup challenge month. And that was when the light bulb went on. That's when I started reading personal development. That's when I started to work on a list. And that list was a bunch of names. I started with 100. I wrote down my dentist, my doctor, my neighbors, people I went to kindergarten with. They were on that list. And every single day, I started with 5. I invited 5. My business wasn't growing like I wanted. So the next day, I invited 40. The next day, I invited 50. Then I went through that whole list of 100, and I made another list of 100. Then I started following up. July, I got to 26. That was the moment that I knew I worked my butt off, and I could succeed. I believed in myself. That's when it started. Invite every day. Okay, this is not a 9-to-5 job. This isn't something that you work Monday through Friday. This really is an everyday job. But this is a job that you can do in an hour a day. You just have to have your goals, your priorities, you have to have your list, and you have to be consistent. So every day I send out notifications. Do the same. Build relationships. This is a business about relationships. As Carl said last night, we are not salesmen. Do not go out there and sell yourself, sell your product. We're not having a garage full of Beachbody products. Okay? You have this ability to literally send someone a message and say, hey, I was thinking about you today. How's your life? How are your kids? You're getting so big. So you got married. That is how it starts. It's not, hey, I have this challenge pack on sale for $140 this month. Will you join a challenge group? That comes later. Once you have created the consistency of inviting them, once you've created that relationship and you've shared information about yourself and you've gathered the information that they need, it's all out of the questions. Use the training. I use a script. Again, another thing, I literally work from a script. My coaches will ask me, well, what do you say to this? I send them my script that I have. I ask the questions. You have control of every conversation that you have. If someone asks you a question that you don't really know how to respond to, that you don't like, that you don't want the conversation to go in that direction, you have the ability to ask another question, to go a different route, to kind of gear it in a different way. Okay, so ask your upline. If you're sitting here as a brand new coach, ask your upline if they have a script. We have them in our groups. Create one. It's all about the questions that you ask people because you need to get to know them. And it's deep questions that will really tell you who they are, what they're all about, and what their goals are. Trust in the process. Okay? Do you guys really think last year, when I set the goal in December that I was going to be an elite coach this year, I had doubts in my mind. I was like, how in the world am I going to get there? I'm not that person who just has a success. But I trusted in the process. I trusted that if I watched Melanie, if I watched other top coaches who have already done what I wanted to do, that the way they've done it would work for me too, and it does. You just have to believe. And it's not a get-rich-quick. So you have to realize that, you know, you might be working, I think I joked one day, I probably made like 50 cents an hour my first year because I worked so much, but it pays off. Trust in that. So some books that I am going to recommend to you guys. The Compound Effects by Darren Hardy and Slight Edge by Jeff Olson are 2 that you should definitely start out with. They're literally going to help start to change your mindset and help you see the big picture, that the decisions that you make every day will compound over time. The decisions that you make now, you might not see yourself changing, you might not see them changing you every single day, but it's working as long as you are going in the right direction. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. If you're a procrastinator, you need that book. If you have a really hard time of getting things done, read that book. Developing the Leader Within You by John Maxwell is great for the leadership. I had no idea how to lead a team, okay? I had a vision. I have a vision. I know where I'm going. And that book was a total mental change for me. It's awesome. Start with why. You have to have a why in this business. It's not just to help people. Sorry. That was my why. I'm sure most of you are like, I just want to help someone. You know what? When the going gets tough, when you hear 100 no's from people who don't want to join your challenge group, and it'd be easier just to quit and just stop and to go get a job at, as a waitress or whatever. You need that why. So it's going to help you to stay focused, to keep pushing. My why is my kids, my freedom, to be there for them. GoPro by Eric Ward is an amazing book for network marketing because that's our job. You have to use network marketing. That is the best way to develop your business, and that book is amazing. Stop wishing and start doing. There's no wishing in this business. You will not get ahead if you do not believe in yourself, have the confidence that you will succeed. Stop making the excuses. Up your invites to 10 or more a day. Do not just send out 3 invites a day. I know that it was said on the slide last night on one of the coaches who was speaking. She started out with about 3, I think she said, and then she's like, I changed to 10. 10 is your minimum, okay? Just don't think about it. Just send out those invites. Don't think about what the other person is thinking or saying once they receive it. Because if you have that mentality that if you can just change one life, that's been my goal. Every day I wake up and I say, if I can help one person today, that's going to make me feel good. Up your invites. Create a system that works for you. This is a duplicatable system. You have got to realize that. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you just need to be a coach of a coach. You might not understand that right now, but if you can literally just see the vision, if you can follow the leader, if you can create the system that works for you, we've provided systems in the back office and all of your tools. But there has to be one that works for you because, again, this is your business. So get that down pat. You'll figure it out. It took me a while. Act and work like you're already a top coach. I know. I knew I wanted to be elite. From the day that I started to coach, I heard Melanie's business opportunity call. That was the very first dream team call that I ever got. She inspired me. I thought from that moment, why not me? Heck yeah, I want to be an elite top 10 coach someday. Set that goal. Act like it. Nobody that you're messaging knows that maybe you're a coach. You're just a coach. Who cares? You're changing lives. You're going somewhere. Squash the negatives. You're meant for greatness. Believe that. Okay? I promise you. Just do it. Step outside of your comfort zone. You have to. My goal every day, I'll tell you, I don't really like to talk to people like that I don't know. So one of the big things that I started doing was every time I'd go into a grocery store, I'd say, okay, here we go. 2 people today. I made myself go out of the way to talk to 2 people to form a relationship. I usually search out moms, people that are maybe in workout clothes, and I literally walk up to them if they have a kid with them. Oh my gosh, your little girl's outfit is so cute. Where did you get that? Who's not going to say, oh my gosh, I got a little baby? Isn't she so cute? So then I'll say, you know what, we just moved here. I still use that excuse even though we've lived in Mississippi now for over 2 years. But I'll be like, we just moved here. Would you like to get together for a play date one day? Most of them, I've never had anyone tell me no. I find them on Facebook, and I've never had anyone who's not on Facebook, and I look them up right there in the store, and I add them on my Facebook list. It works. Scares the heck out of me. My stomach is like a knot. But palms are sweaty. But I do it. I started out with 140 Facebook friends. I have almost 1,300 as of now. Okay? So you have to have your social media platforms. My final thing for you is just to take action. You guys, use the tools that I've just given to you. Go out, start your invites today. Make a difference. Set your goals for 2014. Crystallize them. Make a plan for achieving that. Set yourself a deadline. Then with confidence, determination, and disregard for obstacles and criticism, carry out your plan. That's what you have to do. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, so next up, we have another elite coach, first time elite coach, Marsha. I don't want to mess up your last name. Smirka. I'm going to mess that up. So Marsha is all the way from Wisconsin, and she has a great story, and I don't want to tell it, but it's a pretty awesome one. And she's going to talk to you guys about objections. How many of you get the objections every single day, right? It's one of the main things that deters us from our business. So she's going to tell you how to handle them with these. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I have to say how awesome it is to see all these guys here, and this room is full, so that is amazing. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here. As Melanie said, my name is Marsha Schomaker, and I'm from the very middle of Wisconsin. I actually grew up on a dairy farm and was milking cows when I was in 4th grade. This is my family. My husband, Adam, is the reason I'm here. He actually went to high school with Alyssa Schomaker, and because when I started coaching, I was not on social media at all. I actually really hated Facebook. I had an account that was inactive. I set one up when I was in college with the encouragement of my husband, and I never used it. I thought this was the dumbest thing. Like, who cares if you're getting a haircut or, getting a manicure of the day? Who cares? So I forgot my password to even log in. So anyway, thanks to Adam today. My kids are Aiden, Anna, Madeline, and Byron. We chose the A&M name on purpose. Ages 2 to 8. I guess I wanted to tell you a little bit about my why I'm here. With not having been on social media, I thought that would be a huge obstacle to me starting. I grew up on a dairy farm. Both of my parents were uneducated, and they never really pushed me for goals. I can honestly say I never dreamed, I never had goals for myself until Beachbody. I like to read, but I never would have imagined building up a personal development book. The whole opportunity just really opened my eyes and made me become a better person. I'm much happier being a wallflower, and this is really a big step for me to present in front of many people. But it really forces myself outside of my comfort zone in a really positive way. And this opportunity can be the same for you too if you allow it to take hold and take place in your life. So because I wasn't on Facebook, and actually when I did remember my account to get on, I had 60 friends. I was really worried about what people would think of me all of a sudden posting 3 to 5 times a day. I was like, wow, can I really do that? Like all of a sudden, hello! But you know what? My husband at the time was working an hour away from home each day. And we had our 4 kids at home living on a single income. Family of 6 and 1 income, doesn't go very far. He had a pretty good job, but we never saw him. I was in bed long before he'd get home at night because we never saw him at night. We would tuck it in and we never had dinners together. So for me, it was worth the fear of what people were going to think. I knew it was a risk that I had to take. I didn't pull back because I really wanted this for my family, and I saw the potential. My second month in the business, I earned $800 for a family. And I made success of 10 non-negotiable in my business. I agreed to what Alyssa told me that if I would just do the 3 vitals and successful 10 every month, non-negotiable, that I would see growth. I started coaching August of 2013. I earned a cruise trip in March for my husband and I in those short amount of time from August till December. And being surrounded with other Beachbody coaches on the cruise was amazing. And at that point, I was a brand new diamond, and my fire was lit. I made a goal to be an elite coach at the end of the year after that cruise. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know what I was going to need to do, but I just stayed consistent. I didn't have a map, that I needed to recruit so many people or, what activities I needed to do. I just knew that if I were helping people and I could help my team, that I would get there. So every day, so posting on Facebook, I tried to give people reasons to follow me because I was sending out friend requests like it was my job. because I knew I couldn't build a business on 60 friends, people that I hadn't talked to in 10 years. And also, growing up in the middle of Wisconsin, we had 40 graduating people in my class. So very, very small town, low income, people that I hadn't maintained relationships with. So I would go to work every day thinking, okay, what can I say or what can I do that's going to be motivating to somebody something that's going to make them want to check me out tomorrow. So I posted a lot of recipes. I found that people really followed me for my recipes. Posted my workouts every single day and just tried to offer tips and add value. And so in October of that year, it was a cup team month, cup challenge month. Valerie said the same thing with her business. I opened up a fit club that month, and it was. I remember when I started coaching, making goals. That was the first time I'd ever done goals in my life. But I was like, I'm going to do a fit club on January 1st, and open it up and catch all those New Year's resolutions people. Well, when the cup challenge came up in October, I was like, okay, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to do it. So I did. I found a room in my church and got a VCR, and I didn't know anybody, but I knew one person who knew a lot of people. So I invited her, and she invited all of her friends. And which was perfect for me because I didn't have to go outside and find people. But every one of those people that came to the fit club ended up being a customer of mine in October. So I think I had 32 or 36 in October. So I know I'm kind of off here, but anyway, so doing the vital behaviors like it's your job, sure for your sleep. So I did that with adding contact every day. I just would stalk my friends' list. And if there was anybody that had, between 10 and 20 common friends, they got an invite from me as a friend. It did get me in trouble a few times in Facebook jail, but it was, what I needed to do to get there. Val also mentioned to personal development books. The Compound Effect was my very first one, and it was so eye-opening. It made me have confidence that when I do these 3 small things repeatedly, day after day after day, that I would see the benefit. And like I said, by month 2, when I could show my husband that I earned $800, that was pretty rewarding. So it made me push further into my business. Take the Stairs was the other one that I really enjoyed. It's very similar, textbook consistency. So those would be my 2 recommendations for a newer coach starting out. And then I just shared my life openly. So I've never been one to keep a journal or anything like that, but I kind of use Facebook as my opportunity to share my story with people. So, I'm not salesy. I don't feel like anyway. I just share my life. I share my stories about my kids. I share recipes that I love that are good for my family. And not always do I paint the perfect picture either. There are days where I don't feel like working out, or there are days I skip workout, or I don't eat like I should. But when I do share that too, that side of things, it just makes you more relatable. And nobody wants a perfect coach. And I remember one time I opened up a second fit club location months later into the business, and I had somebody who had been following my page for quite a while, and she was on the fence of joining my coaching team on that. And she used the fit club as an opportunity to get to meet me in person. And I'll never forget when we were doing the workout. I think it was one of the Candy X3 ones. I kind of lost my balance a little bit on the moves, and she afterwards came up to me, she's like, I'm really glad that you are not perfect. I didn't know what to expect, because sometimes people just have that impression of you because of what you post, and it really made me kind of reflect on what I am posting, because I don't want to be relayed as the perfect person or the perfect coach, because I am just a person. So that just really made me more relatable to her, which I appreciated for telling me that. Okay, so inviting. What I do when I think about inviting is I don't even care if they say yes, no, maybe, or no answer. My inviting is simply a means to share a solution with somebody that they might be needing or looking for in their life. So with every invite I'm sending, I'm just spreading awareness, because I think back when I first made the decision to leave my career with the birth of my first son. We tried to care for a month and a half, and I couldn't do it. I grew up at home with my family, and I wanted the same certain things for my kids. So I left my career, and so we were living on one income for 7 years. If I would have known about Beachbody coaching when I first left, maybe I would have signed up, maybe I wouldn't have, but I know the difference it would have made in my life. So that's why I'm so fearless with inviting, because it could mean a completely different situation for somebody's life, just by me just sharing the opportunity with them. So my goal is to create awareness, not necessarily to make a sale. And the other thing I've learned is no just simply means not now. I've had a lot of people tell me no, and months later, they come back to me. I don't like end the relationship with them when I hear the no. I still work with them. Like, well, how else can I help you? Usually it's just the timing. They have to be ready mentally to put themselves into a program for them to get results anyway. So if the timing's not right, it's like, okay, well, do you need a meal plan? Can I add you to my free group? And then the value on your timeline is supporting evidence of your credibility. There's nothing, I guess if you're inviting that you're a coach and you want people to join your challenge group, you have to have supporting evidence that you're going to help them in groups. You can't have everything family oriented and for them to think that they're going to get value for the fitness if you don't share that on your timeline. So, some people are afraid. They're like, well, if I share my meal plan on my timeline, why are they going to want to join my challenge group? That's why they're going to want to join your challenge group. They're going to want to see more. So don't ever hold back on what you can offer people on your timeline. The other thing that I found really helpful is emotionally attaching people to their why. And I know on the video last night, I talked about that too. When I first talk with somebody about their interest in joining, I try to get them on the phone. Because I feel like when I'm talking with someone on the phone, I am able to connect with them better and form the relationship better. I can ask them pointed questions like, what have you tried in the past? What has worked for you? What hasn't? Where do you feel like the missing areas? Where we can move forward and help you really get good results. And then, if it's something like my customer that popped in my head, she was talking about taking the kids to the park in the summer and not being able to have the energy to play with them or run around with them. When they have friends going to the park with them, they weren't able to keep up. So I would ask her, like, well, how do you think that would feel to be able to run around with your kids again? And, she started crying. She's like, so like, when you can emotionally have an attachment with someone's why, they're not going to give you that price objection because that is priceless to be able to, how they're feeling, to be able to keep up with their kids. That's why they want to do it. There's no price tag on that. So again, ask the key questions. Okay, then how would it feel, to you if you could do this? All right, the dreaded cost question, which everyone loves. Sometimes I post in those free garage sale sites, and especially with those, the very first question is, how much does this cost? Is it free? And I just kind of laugh because the reason they're asking is because they don't know me. It's not, so it's for lack of perceived value. They're just looking at the price tag because they've tried X, Y, and Z before, and it hasn't worked for them. So what makes this different? Well, it's not that it costs anything different. It's not the cost that makes it different. It's me that makes it different, and the support of a coach. So you're going to need to help them understand, two things. Price depends on, what program they choose. So again, going back to what their needs are. So the sooner you can get them on the phone, the better, especially if it's someone that you don't know, so that you can really solidify that relationship. I never tell people the cost. I try to dodge it because I want to help them see the value in what they're getting for their money first before I just throw out a price tag. Some people really are just stuck. Like, I just want to know the price. And then I will tell them it varies between $140 and up, depending on whatever. So first I try to get to their why, like why they want to do it, what are their goals, to really make a good recommendation. I tell them I want to be confident that I'm giving you the right recommendation for your needs. And Val's presentation this morning was awesome, talking about confidence. You have to relay confidence in your message and tell them, I want to be confident that I'm making the right recommendation. So then once they really are a believer that the program that you've chosen for them or that you were recommending to them is going to be the one that works, the price objection is, there's not going to be a very chance of that price objection. I always try to give people 2 to 3 workout video clips to preview so that they can have some input. There might be one that jumps out at them, and that's what we go with. I also do send them the Shakeology video too. Some people I think are afraid to do that because they think that they're going to get that rejection or the price objection, so they kind of like forget about that part and they bring it out at the last minute. I want people to see the value in Shakeology right off the bat, so I do send that with the program video clips as part of the program.
Excuse me. What's your favorite Shakeology video that you send?
I do the doctor, the clinical trial.
Thank you.
So then when you do have a conversation or script that's working for you, put it in a file so that you can copy and paste it and kind of have it a working file. You can share it with your teammates. I love Evernote. I've created like my challenge groups for my team on Evernote, and then they can kind of edit it and contribute. So that's what I use. And then when a person is ready to sign up, I try to give them the direct link to the challenge pack. So that way they're not navigating through the site trying to find it. I just like to make it easy for the customer. I also try to always be on the phone when they're going through it. For one, then I'm not stressing over it, wondering if they follow through with it. Number 2, I feel like it's excellent customer service to be able to say, okay, this is what you're going to want to do. This is what your screen says. You just walk them through it so that they know that it's done and it's done right. I also like to talk to the Shakeology options and explain to them that you get the box versus the bag, what flavors are, what my favorite flavors are, what they're going to be using. It might make a difference on which one they go with. And then I also let you know at that time that they'll be set up on direct and that they can alternate and modify the flavors as they go. I do believe that fear of objection is a mindset. If you have that in the background of your mind saying, oh, they're going to say no, they're going to say no, they're going to pick up on that. Try to be confident. This is a program that works, and you can help them get results when you use it. So be confident. Don't allow your own perception to get in the way of your success. Be excited. Make it a team challenge. It can be fun to see how many people you talk to before you get that yes. So go for no. I think everyone's pretty familiar with that go for no of 100 checkout list. There's been a lot of people using that this month. So print that out and use it. See how many no's before you get a yes. Make a game out of it. And sometimes I kind of like to get a no because it's like, okay, how can I turn that no into a yes? What do I have to do? So going for no. Make your connections. Form the relationship. Be comfortable offering them the coaching opportunity. So if someone is giving me still, after I really felt like I formed a relationship, still just getting like, gosh, I really want to do it, but I can't afford it. I have helped people create a script for them strategically to post on their timeline at 7:30, 8 o'clock on Sunday or Monday night. I tell them what to say, when to post it, and just say, have them say, I'm starting a health journey. My coach is offered to give me 30 days to lose up to 15 pounds or whatever it might be that you want to have them say. Is there anybody who wants to join me? So I give them a customer referral bonus for people that they can afford. How I do that is I would PayPal them. You can be in control of what you do. I've done $20 to PayPal them back credit for every customer that they refer to in my business. I sign them up underneath for the successful clients because if they're not a coach working the business, they don't care if they get the successful clients or not. So that's the way that you can help them with the program. And then also, if they want to continue on Shakeology, I would of course ask them for the coaching opportunity. If I see that they have coaching potential, maybe they're like, yeah, I'll post on the timeline. If they're comfortable posting stuff like that on the timeline, that's an indicator to me that they might be making a really great coach. So if they're referring a lot of people, and how you do it is really dependent on where you are at your business. If you're shooting for diamond rank, this could be an opportunity for you to get that emerald coach that you need on one life. So sign them up as a coach, and then have those customers placed underneath them to build up the emerald. And that will give them confidence right off the bat, starting off the business. That wow, that was really easy to do. I'm already an emerald coach, and I haven't even started. Don't ever use the word coach if you think that that's going to scare them away. Say preferred customer. It's just not clever. They're not wanting to work the business. All right, and then, so if you're still getting the no, you just can't help them. You just need to work on the relationship longer, continue to add value, help them no matter what. So make sure that people are signing up for your free membership. Explain the benefits of the tools in the Team Beachbody account. They can use the Super Gym, they can access recipes. They can get on your mailing list for any future updates. So have them get their membership. And then add them into your general accountability group for ongoing support and motivation. You guys should all have a team free group that's just ongoing for your customers, maybe after they finish a challenge group and they don't need the daily one-on-one support anymore. Or people who are in your free groups, once the free group ends, like a clean eating group or something, just somewhere where you can keep track of them and continue to support them. It's not going to be the same level of support as in your challenge groups, but it's a place also for you to get exposure. So for your team, you can have them share blog posts or their recipes or things to get their blogs seen. And then just continue to build a relationship. Again, no means usually not now. When they're ready, they'll come back.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marsha. All right, up next, we have Alyssa Schomaker. She is a 15-star diamond Beachbody coach. She is also an elite 10 this year, so she is, it says number 10 on the leaderboard, but she actually tied with another coach for number 9. Right? So a lot of people ask, how did she in 2 years' time? Literally, her sign-up date was 2 years as of Super Saturday. She attended Super Saturday with me 2 years ago. So she's going to come up here and give you her top tips to really creating a fast-growing, large business quickly.
You guys hear me?
Move it up just a little bit. Move it up just a little bit. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Good. All right. So, many of you guys don't know me. My name is Alyssa Schomaker. Like Melanie said, I've been a coach 2 years. I kind of came into this business a little bit different than you know him.
Move it up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Alrighty, so I have a background of being a registered nurse. I was a nurse for, well, I still am, but I was a nurse for 15 years. I, like many of you guys, saw a coaching opportunity kind of come across my page. It was actually a Super Saturday event. It was for a live combat workout, and I just wanted to go and get a killer workout. I had no idea about this whole bit network of what we had. A year prior to that, I lost my grandpa in the hospital. It was the most devastating thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. And it was because of short staffing in the hospital systems of why my grandfather passed away. And for me, it propelled me to just want to help one person. If I could keep people out of the healthcare system and teach them about health promotion and disease prevention, then that's what I wanted to do. So when I started talking about Melanie, and started talking about challenge groups, about what coaching really represented, I decided that, you know what, I could do this. I could do this. I didn't know how, but I was very passionate about helping other people. So if you want to go to the first slide. My top tip, number 1 for success is passion. You guys have got to believe that you can change another person's life. You have to believe that within yourself, that you have the power of one, and that ripple effect of what will happen when you start talking to other people about your challenge groups, about your free groups, and just offering just free services to people. Anytime that people messaged me when I was a brand new coach, I would give them free cleaning information. I would send them recipes. I would bring in cleaning grocery lists to my unit at the hospital and snacks and just different ideas on how to help people that I was working with create a healthier living environment. And it was just because of that passion that I had to make sure that I could do whatever I could to keep people out of the healthcare system. I believed in myself. I believed that I could do it. I didn't know how. I didn't have a way. There really wasn't a path. But I believed that I could do this. And so those are my top 2 tips for my first part is passion and belief. If you guys don't believe in yourselves, dive into personal development. I, like many other coaches, skipped out on personal development. Thought the same thing. In fact, I actually remember, I don't know this now, but I actually remember when Mel and I were just friends on Facebook. And I remember her, like, there was like a cup of tea and like a personal development book, like on a Friday night. And she was like, oh, I'm reading my personal development. I was like, what is she doing like on a Friday night? Like reading personal development and drinking tea, you know? And it's so funny because that's like my life now, you know? I'm sitting there with my tea on, I have my personal development, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Anyway, so believe in yourself. Do not skip on that personal development. Do not be one of those coaches that, you're up like empty. It's like, I know you're not doing your personal development. So make sure you're doing personal development, and your personal development has to reflect on what you need as a person. So if it's time management, if it's confidence, if it's leadership, that is what your personal development needs to be on, not necessarily what your sponsored coach is telling you to read. Okay, so I know we all have lists of different books on different things. So that's kind of my first thing. That's number 1. Second of all, knowing your target market. My team is 90% healthcare. Why? Because I know my target market. I know who it is that I'm attracting. I know who it is that I want to work with in my business. I have basically a team of 75% of my team is nurses. I'm not saying that the other people on my team don't matter and don't come into like my coach avatar, but I know when I'm posting on social media exactly who it is that I'm talking to. So when we talk about, you look at the characteristics of yourself, you are your target market. Point blank, you're your target market. It is not any more complicated than that. Myself, I'm a mom. I'm a happy mom, okay? I'm also a nurse. I'm a NPC bikini competitor. Do you want to know what I post on social media? Those are the things that I search for. Those are the things that I'm posting about. Because when I create a team, I now have a whole group of people that are just like me. And the first time I get on the phone with them, they're like some of my very best friends. Because we all get along, we all relate, we all have so much in common. So when you're really thinking about who your target market is, create lists of yourself and what it is who you are. Maybe you're a homeschooling mom. Maybe you're somebody that's really into paleo. Maybe you're a vegan. Maybe you're a dance mom. Whatever it is, that's what you want to do. And so I want to just add into that a second because I get coaches all the time, especially on Instagram. Because on Instagram, yeah? All right, so Instagram. How many of you guys are searching fit mom? Okay, no. How much of you guys are searching fitness? Abs? No. Okay, here's the thing. You guys can tag that stuff so people find you. But that's not what you want to be searching when you're looking for other people. Because everybody is searching that. If you look there, it is nothing but people that want to have a business, right? Everybody's tagged Fit Mom, and everybody's looking at Fit Mom. So what I want you to do, maybe you like cupcakes, because I do. I like cupcakes. I'm a scuba diver, so what do? I search scuba diving. I search skiing. I search Pennsylvania. I search hockey. I search things that are common to me outside of Beachbody. Okay? That is what I want you guys to be doing on Instagram. That was my little share of Instagram. So I hope that that kind of helps you guys in that area because so many coaches are doing that part wrong. Okay? So don't go searching what you're hashtagging. Searching your other areas of what your target market is. Okay? All right. Choose 3 areas of social media right off the bat. Now this is a little bit different than what maybe your upline sponsor is going to tell you. But I think it's very important to get started right away on a minimum of 3 areas of social media, even as a brand new coach. So many of you are going to say, what if I don't have time. I don't have time to post to a business page, at Facebook, and Instagram. Wrong. There's different
you have a different clientele, a different market on all three of those areas, and different people that are following you. You could take the same picture or the same post and post it in 3 different spots, okay? And you just have to get started right away. So literally, I got started right away on Instagram and right away on my Facebook page. I started a like page of my fitness like page about 3 months into the business, and I started posting there consistently as well. And then same time, I also started on a blog. I wanted my blog to look perfect. Melanie told me, just start getting your content out there. Every little bit of nugget that you put out into the internet is another way for people to find you. So the more areas that you're posting, the more that people are going to be able to find you. And that is what this is all about, that attraction marketing. Bringing people to you so that you have to do less of going out and finding people. There are people looking for your help. There are people, whether it's for freedom, whether it's for finances, whether it's for their health, whether it's another nurse that is sick and tired of working the crazy hours that they're working and want to really help people and don't feel like they're helping anybody anymore because they're just running around from patient to patient to patient. People are looking for you. So remember, every little nugget of information you put out there is another way for people to find you, okay? The other cool thing about social media is I can advertise for coaching, I can advertise for challenge groups every single day if I wanted to. Because I can post it on my blog, I can post it on a YouTube video, I can post it on my like page, I can post it on my regular page, and I can post it on Instagram. So I cannot, most of the time you're going to think it could be like a scammer doing that all the time, right? If you were just on your like page, I can post it in all different areas every single day and constantly have an influx of emails and messages coming to me, which means I don't have to invite as much because I'm just emailing and messaging people back. Cool, right? So anyways, choose your 3 areas, decide what you want to do with that, and just get started. Don't wait, get started on that. All right, so my next tip, start a minimum of 1 challenge per month. I really, really, really suggest a minimum of 2, guys. I really suggest a minimum of 2, so you always have something to be inviting for. Okay, a lot of people, when they're ready to get started, they just want to get started. They don't really want to have to wait until the end of the month for your next challenge for biz, because you know what? Maybe it's Sunday night and they just had a barbecue and they're kind of sad and their pants are stuffy or whatever, and then they see your ad and they're like, oh, I want to get started now. You tell them to wait 3 weeks, that temptation, that motivation they had at that time, it's going to be gone. So, I say a minimum of 1, but really 2. Every 2 weeks, have something going so that you can get people into your challenge groups, get them help, and then maybe they'll become some of your really good coaches. But a minimum of 2. All right, Success Club 10, non-negotiable. So I was told by Melanie, again, one of those people I ducked out of the Coach Training Academy. I didn't do Coach Basics. I kind of flew by my own like seat of my pants. But I was told if I hit Success Club 10 every single month, that would be my quickest way to success. Quickest way to be a 6-figure earner in 1 year. So I made Success Club 10 non-negotiable in my business every single month. I am now a Success Club 10 legend because I've hit the Success Club 10 every single month in my business. There are times, you guys, that in my first year as a coach, I would be down to the last day and I would not have time. And you know what? I invited like crazy. I reached out to people. I did not stop because it was that important to me. And I want you to know that with my coaches, the people that push, people that work hard towards the end, I know who they are. I know what they're doing. It changes their business because of the fact they made that number non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. There was a post a couple weeks ago in the wall, and they talked about all the top 10 coaches, all the coaches that are making 5 figures a week. And one of the things that they all had in common was Success Club 10. Over time, Success Club 10. We don't talk about Success Club, you guys, because of the fact that elite points and everything else. We talk about it because it's that one benchmark that Beachbody gives you to grow your business. Nobody gave me anything, but I hung on to that, what Mel told me. Success Club 10, if you want to grow a big business, that's what you need to do. So if you want to grow a big 6-figure business or beyond, Success Club 10, every single month. My A lot of top coaches will be Success Club 10 by the 10th. Get yourself Success Club 5 or Success Club 10 by the 10th of the month so that you are not there scrambling at the end of the month trying to get these points. Do not look for a secret sauce, guys, because there's one. It's those vital behaviors. Everybody says, you know, what's the secret sauce? There isn't one. It's those vital behaviors. You have to do all three. They're vital for a reason. It's like your heart beating. It's like you breathing. You have to do vital behaviors. So never miss a call. All right. So I know that people are busy. Now, I'm going to tell you busy. When I started as a coach, I had 3 kids. My youngest was 9 months. I was also working as a nurse, and I was going to school to get my master's degree. I know what busy is. I still managed to create a business and leave nursing 7 months into the business. And it is very important that you're getting on these calls because this is your daily motivation for the week. It's what's going to set you up for success. You are going to be tied in. You're going to understand what's going on. You are going to have top coaches sharing their tips with you on success. There's no other business out there where people are sharing their tips of success and how they've succeeded. It doesn't happen. This is one of the only businesses where you're going to have that. So National Makeup Call, that is the top coaches of the business sharing their tips. Take your pieces of information and apply what you want to your business. You do not need to do everything that you guys hear on the National Makeup Call. If you've got something that's going for you and it's working, just do what's working for you. There's just different ways that you can tweak things and maybe add in a little bit more value. Team calls. Melanie has a wonderful team call Monday night. It's a dream team call. It is live. It is recorded. Make sure you guys are on those calls. I get questions sometimes later on in the week, and I know the coaches that are not in those calls because everything has been already taken care of. And then last, our small group trainings and our Zoom calls. Because we are from all over the country, these little Zoom calls are so important. It's our way to interact. It's our face-to-face communication. It's our way to really connect with our family. So make sure you guys are getting on these Zoom calls. Last but not least, you guys know they're all recorded. Do them while you're doing your cardio. You be cleaning the kitchen. You be driving your kids back and forth to school. Driving yourself to work. Whatever you have to do, listen to these calls. There's really no excuse. All right, have a game plan. All right, so goals, right? Huge thing is goals. And I know that, a lot of times we think about goals and people get kind of turned off about having like goals. But I want to tell you, it's so important to have goals in your business. I think starting, first of all, by what you want to do yearly. At the end of the year, the end of 2015, what do you want to accomplish? Do you want to be a top 10 coach? Do you want to be a top 5 coach? Do you want to be a 5-star and elite coach? What do you want to do? Think big, dream big, because where your mind goes, when you write down, that is what you're going to be able to achieve. Don't limit yourself on what you're going to be able to achieve. I set out this year and I said I was going to be a top 10 coach. I didn't know how. I have a smaller team. Granted, at the beginning of the year, I was only a coach for 1 year. But I wanted to be a top 10 coach. And so what I did is I reverse engineer my goals all throughout the year to figure out how many coaches did I need to recruit? How many coaches did I need to hit Success Club every single month? How many challenge groups did I need to run? How many challenge packs did I need to sell? And a lot of times you'll hear coaches say, well, I want this, but my coaches don't want this. I just can't get my coaches to move. I can't get them to tie in. You know what? Don't control your coaches. Control the controllables. Control how many coaches you bring into your business. Control how many coaches you work with to hit Success Club. And control how many successful points you achieve. Because you have control over that based on your inviting and how many people that you're sharing with this business. And last for that part, your daily to-do list. Have a list. Work from a list about what you're going to do every single day. And I try to just accomplish that list daily. Really, as we hear like the power hour, make that non-negotiable in your business. You guys are doing those things, having a daily to-do list. And by doing that, you'll be able to up some of these other numbers here. All right, so success partners. All right, so I've had multiple success partners in this business. They've all added a tremendous amount of value into my life and into my business. The most important thing with finding a success partner is finding somebody that has the same goals and dreams and attributions that you have. You know, you could, so my success partners kind of changed throughout the year because I really wanted to find somebody that was brilliant in social media, and I needed somebody that was going to push me for top 10. And so I paired up with Andrea Conte-Crowder. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she is brilliant when it comes to social media. And she was also going for top 10. And so we both had calls with each other, we set goals with each other, we held each other accountable. Your success partner is not necessarily your best friend, guys. Your success partner is somebody that's going to challenge you and is going to push you. Okay, so find somebody, and it's okay if you have to change your success partners around, but find somebody that is going to push you and that you can hold each other accountable. That's really the key of having a success partner. So you are going to invite X amount of people, invite so many coaches, that person's going to hold you guys accountable. All right, so investing in your business. This is a business, guys. So I invested in my business early on. It did not cost me a lot of money, but I invested in my business early. For example, Etsy. Started a blog. Etsy, I bought a $30 blog template. So all of a sudden my blog is cute. You know, 30 bucks, that's all it cost me. I did not have to have a fancy website made. I still don't have any fancy website made. But I wanted to have something to make it a little bit different than just the blogger template that came with it. So $30 to do that. Elance. Elance is incredible. Elance can create logos for you guys. Elance can edit pictures for you guys, and it's cheap. So one thing that I did, once I got some content, 5-6 months into my business, I hired somebody to help me grow my Instagram account. Okay? I basically gave them attributes, people that I wanted to have them follow me. Once they started following me, then I would continue the conversation. But it was helping people get their eyes on me, because I was one of those people, now you guys are those people, you sit there and you tap a bunch of pictures and that stuff like on your iPad, on your Instagram account, and you like, and then you leave a comment, you like, and then you leave a comment. I was doing that for hours. I felt like a monkey. I felt like I could pay my 3-year-old kid to do that job. Do not waste your time like that. Your time is valuable. With Elance, I paid somebody $3.59 an hour for 6 hours a week. Less than $28. Well, I'm not good now. But $24 a week for them to grow my business. That got people on my staff, right? That got people to follow me. So invest in your business. It's cheap. This kind of stuff is cheap work, you know? And you look about it, that's one challenge pack. That's a one challenge pack that week that paid for that person. Facebook ads. I originally paid for people to like get likes and stuff like that on my page. And then after that, I went to getting boosts and I started boosting posts. I recommend now, with the way that things have changed, if you are on Facebook like pages, boost your ads and do it for like the boosted post rather than doing it for the page. Okay. Invest money in your business. It's going to cost you guys a little bit of money, but the return is going to be huge. All right, filter wings on the way down. So you guys have access to the best information, literally, in the entire company. We have Melanie Mitchell, Miss Curriculum Creator. That's all I have to say. She creates the best curriculums that anybody has to offer. And if you guys tie yourselves into that stuff, you can really create anything. The most important thing is to just get out there and just do it. Do not hold yourself back. Get over your fear and know that you guys are made for greatness. You guys are here for a reason. There's a higher power on why you guys are here. And I want you to believe that. I want you to believe that you can help change somebody else's life. So get over your fears, push enter. I don't care if you have to call a friend and say, I'm going to do it, and then you press enter. I do that sometimes with some of my coaches. Guys, I'm right here. Just press enter, you know? If you have to do that, do that. But just go, because the world needs you. Because the world needs you. We need people like you to attract more people so that we can really change the face of the nation when it comes to health and fitness. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Alyssa. All right. Next next up, we have a familiar face that you saw last night on the video. So we have Katie Alyssa. She is a 9-star diamond, 2-time elite Beachbody coach. With or not, I'm sorry. Thanks, Alyssa. What? It's all right. I got it. Yeah, I do. I don't know how I'm sorry. All right. We have Katie Alyssa, 9-star diamond, 2-time elite coach. You heard a lot about her story last night on the Super Saturday video. She's had a life-altering 12 months, and she has come out on top. And she's going to talk to you today about your why and creating a vision for your life. So,
all right. So Melanie's probably a little nervous because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And she was like, Kate, do you have your slides? And I was like, no. She's like, Kate, give me your slides. And I was like, yeah, okay. So, all right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you this story. It all started in Barcelona, 1992. No, seriously. Derek Redmond laced up his shoes. It was going to be the last time that he was going to lace up his shoes. And he looked at that track, and he knew there were 400 meters that stood in front of him and his dream. That dream was to win a medal. It didn't matter which medal. He just wanted a medal. So there he was, lacing up his shoes. The gun goes off. He starts, and he has this amazing lead. It looks like he is going to win a medal. All of a sudden, his hamstring out. He falls. And you know what he does? Slowly, with the worst pain you can imagine, just shooting through his entire body. He gets up and he limps. And did you know that he thought in his head he could still win? He kept going and going. And everyone in the stands is going because they can't believe he's going. But you know who believed that he was going? Jim. Jim was his father. Jim ran out past the security guards, boom, blew through them. There was Jim on the track. And you know what he did? He put his arm around his son, and his son started crying. And he and his father, Jim, finished that race together. Now, I don't know if anyone in here can identify who actually won the 1992 400 meter. Can anyone? Can anyone? It was not Derek Redmond. He did not finish first place. He did not win a gold. He did not win any medal that day. But if you Google anything, Derek Redmond, most amazing moments in Olympic history, Derek Redmond will come up. Why is he so remembered? Because his passion for this sport, his will to never give up, was so much stronger than any medal you can put around your neck. You know, I was talking to my husband and I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I've said before that people maybe haven't heard. But I think the biggest thing I can take away and give to you to take away is that you in this business have to have a never give up mentality. And you absolutely have to have the attitude that you matter. You matter more than a rank. You matter more than your upline, because you are the one that makes a difference in somebody else's life. Not Melanie, not Alyssa, not Val. You. You are the one that makes a difference. So I got to tell you, but first, can I take a selfie? I wasn't there. All right, so I used to teach 7th grade. Reading I taught for, I don't know, 8 years, I think, Mike, was that right? Something like that. I taught for 8 years. I recently retired. I didn't retire because I didn't like teaching. I absolutely love teaching. I love talking to kids. 7th graders are really weird. I am really weird. It meshed really, really well. But one of my favorite things to teach kids was actually a book. It was called The True Story of the 3 Little Pigs. Yes, I'm talking about 7th graders. The true story of the 3 little pigs was this story about a big bad wolf Alexander Keeble was his name. And my kids, my 7th graders, this book, this picture book, I would actually sit them all down, and they just were enthralled with this story for no reason other than they were hearing a story. So this year, as you guys know, was pretty life-changing for me. I was diagnosed with cancer and all that kind of stuff. But what I decided at the beginning of this journey, and I told my husband, was that all I want to do is inspire one person. I'm not going to lie, this week has been very difficult. I have lost 3 fellow warriors who battled along with me. So, I get so mad over cry. But I know that my purpose for the fight is bigger than it was yesterday. It was bigger than when I was out. And I'm going to tell you there's 3 things that I knew going into this that mattered. And the first is everybody in this room has something. You know that thing that you have going on in your head right now that you're thinking about, I never want to reveal on social media, I don't want anyone to know. It might be a secret, it might be something that you have told your best friend in the world. That is what matters. That something is what people connect to. That something is what makes you so real. And it's what makes you you. You know, I am not a top coach at all. I don't think that I am doing anything stellar, but all I'm doing is putting out my crap, my garbage, all that stuff that I have going on social media. And somebody's going, holy cow, if she's gonna do that, there's no reason that I can't do that. And I don't know if anybody saw, but I would get up before chemo and I would work out. I would come home from chemo, and if I was feeling okay, my husband would say, push play, do yoga, do relief from asylum. Yeah, I did asylum right after chemo. Who does that? That's bizarre. All right, I just thought of that randomly. But it's true. You have to air out your dirty laundry. You have to let people see you for who you really are. There's flaws. Your flaws are what make you perfect. Your flaws are what make you the ideal coach. If you're going to put out your flaws and someone's going, she's pretty good at this, they're going to start saying, maybe I can do this. And that's the thought that you want. When I kind of brainstormed with Mel about what this was going to be, her husband, and I don't know if he's in here right now, I remember going to her house, and her husband said, you know Stuart Spot? And I said, from ESPN. And my husband, of course, knew who that was, but he had told me that he won the Inspiration Award from Beachbody. Did you know that? 2 years ago, 2013, he won something called the Inspiration Award. And he talked about he would do P90X in the morning before chemo, and he would do it when he got home. He would kickbox, or he would do P90X. He would literally sweat the chemo out. And I said to my husband, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up, sweat. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to try to just get it out of my system. I'm going to get it out. And that's what I did. I sweat. But what happened was, it wasn't just a literal sweat. It was actually a figurative sweat. Because if I was sweating for something, I was sweating for something else. I had a bigger purpose to sweat. I would be mentally preparing myself for the next session. I would be mentally preparing myself for how I was going to feel for 3 days aftermath. I was mentally preparing myself. My team was also sweating with me. And if you are here, not forgetting, because you guys sweat for me when I couldn't sweat for you. So thank you for that. And it would make me think, I can get through the next chemo. I can get through the next session. I can get through the next scan. I can get through. I can get through. I can get through. And I just thought that. And you know what happened? My thoughts, I put into words. I put it on social media. My words, I started to believe it. I can beat this cancer. I can do it. I can beat this cancer crap. And then you know what I did? I started putting it into action. Literally. Push-ups. There were times when I would be on my knees and I would cry because I couldn't do push-ups like I was doing them before. I then I would do 1 or 3 or 5, and after every session, I was getting just a little bit stronger after every single one. My actions became habit. Consistency in your business, consistency in my chemo, I just did it. And then you know what happened? I did it. I just sweat for something bigger. The reality of it is, I beat cancer. Not because I survived it, because I'm mentally stronger than cancer. And nobody who passes from cancer loses to cancer. Because you are mentally right here, you beat it. Period. Bottom line. The world you create is a process of your thinking. It cannot be changed without first changing what you think. If you think you can't be successful at this, you won't be successful at this. If you think, I can do this, I can be a top coach, I can be a diamond coach, I can be an emerald coach, I can do whatever kind of coach, I can make $500 a week, whatever. If you believe you're going to do it, you can advance. And this is kind of the personal part of it. So I didn't know what was going to happen with my business. I didn't know if I was going to really have made income. I didn't know that I was going to become a 9-star elite coach by the end of the year. But I did know this. If I just kept doing what I was doing, day after day after day, consistently, and knowing so much that what I was doing mattered, that I was inspiring one person, and I'm not talking about hundreds, I'm talking about one person, that's all it takes. If I knew I was inspiring one person, I was going to be a beacon of light. So how do you do that? You've got to find your story. You have to find that story. You have to know why you matter. Doesn't have to be cancer. But you have to have something that you can give to others. And in my opinion, that's the purpose of life. And I guarantee when everybody signed as a coach with this business, your upline goes, so why'd you become a coach? And you say, because I just want to help people. And that's all nice and everything, really, but you got to dig a little deeper. You got to find the real reason why you're a coach. Because when you find that real reason why you're a coach, it gets you through the hard times. When you look around and say, she's more successful than me. I'm not doing enough. I'm not making enough. I'm not providing enough. I didn't qualify for what I wanted to. I dropped rank, whatever. When you actually dig into why you're doing it in the first place, the rest of it just happens. Just happens. It's true. You master your story. You master this business. You master your story. You master this business. Cool. And that's all I got. I told you I was going to be quiet.
All right. Thanks so much. All right, up next, we have 2 coaches that are teaming up together. We got the Kaylee and the Deidre show. All right, so we have Kaylee Hennessy, Deidre Penrose, 7-star, 5-star diamond coach. They're going to be talking to you guys about some success partners, about how they run their business differently, and how they are 2 completely opposite personality styles that have meshed together to show you different ways that you can be successful. You guys hear me? Can you hear me? Are we good?
All right, guys. Hi, everyone. So we just went up against Katie, which is, yeah.
Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Mel. If you guys are crying, you're not going to cry anymore because we will not make you cry. Hopefully, we'll make you laugh because, we're cool like that. But today we are going to talk about different personality types and how you can grow your business based on your personality types. So I'm going to introduce myself first. My name is Deidre Penrose. I am a 7-star elite, 2-time elite coach. I'm a Success Club 5 All-Star Legend and a Success Club 10 All-Star. And I am from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. If you guys don't know where that is, it's a little small town. It's farm fields and Amish people. And I am originally from outside of Pittsburgh, so it's totally different, but I moved there for my husband, Cody, who is a state trooper. I'm a trooper wife, and he works crazy hours. That's where he located, and we decided to stay there and have our children. So we have 2 boys. I have almost 4-year-old Chase, will be 4 next week. And also I have Weston, who is 2.5 years old, and they're the love of my life. But I started my fitness journey 2.5 years ago, thanks to Melanie. After I had my 2nd child, she asked me to join a challenge group, and I was skeptical because she is my cousin. Everyone in the family knew what she was doing, and some of her family was very skeptical of what she was doing. But I knew the results that she got, and I knew that I needed something because I was depressed. I had very low self-esteem. All right, so I'm just going to put it out there. I was so embarrassed to be in front of my husband. Like, it's pathetic how depressed and insecure I was with my own body. So I know I needed to make a change. And I figured if I couldn't do it on my own, I needed to go to something. And I went to Melanie's challenge group, and that's where I found my results. And I've lost 40 pounds, and it's just been going on from there. I started with Insanity and Shakeology. I was 6 weeks postpartum when I started. So starting with Insanity was a pretty high intense workout, but my why was big enough. I had my kids, and know that I needed to do something big to make that change for myself. And when I started coaching, it was into my 2nd challenge group. So I did not start coaching after I had all my results. I was only in the 2nd challenge group. I was doing Turbo Fire, my 2nd one. And I felt that I could do what she's doing. She really inspired me. I felt like I could give motivation to others like she was giving to me. And as a nurse, I love helping people, and that's what I wanted to do. And as a nurse, I was working crazy hours. So I wanted to be at home with my kids. That's my why. I wanted to be at home with my kids. I always hear the nurses in the ER talk about how they miss the events with their kids because they're working night shifts or swing shifts. You're sleeping during the day, or you just don't get to have that time with your kids. And they grow fast. I cannot believe that my 4-year-old is going to be 4. But I needed to make a change so I could be that mom to be at the events with my kids. So I decided to start coaching, and I wanted to, long term, I wanted to quit my job as a nurse, hopefully one day, and make up my income and be with my kids. So within a year, I was able to quit my job as a nurse, but I haven't quit my job as a nurse, and I'm 2 years into it. I work for Relief as a nurse, and that's because I have a passion for it. It's just another way of helping people. And trust me, I still get it out there because I talk to every nurse out there, and I have a lot of coaches on my team and a lot of challengers from just being around nurses and healthcare professionals. And since I've been able to free up a lot of time, I have also been able to pursue another passion of mine, which is being an NPC figure competitor. So it's been an amazing journey so far. And I'm going to let Haley go ahead and tell her story.
Hi, everyone. My name is Haley Hennessy. I'm a 5-star, 2013 career coach, 2014 elite coach, successful 5 all-star. I'm from a small town in New Jersey, about 400 square miles. So basically, my whole business is online. It's not a full town. I have a couple of my coaches who are from Jersey too, and they can tell you it's very small. I have my degree in psychology. Funny story. Last night we're writing our cars, and I'm writing. It was really tired when I'm talking about it. And I'm writing this out. I'm like, I have my degree in Shakeology. Shakeology. Wait, I can't believe it for that. Yeah, go ahead. I have a minor in business management, and I have done nothing with these degrees. I am blessed to be able to go to college and get them, but I haven't done anything. My husband and I think Tim has always been a non-negotiable that I was sticking with my kids. The town that I live in is extremely expensive, so we've had to sacrifice a lot in order for that to happen. We've cut out TV. We haven't had TV in over 8 years. We didn't have internet until about, I want to say, 6 months into the business. We actually are my neighbors. And no, they gave me their password here. So we also heat our house by a wood stove. So my husband's chopping wood out in the backyard. And he works really long hours. He owns his own business. When I first started, no, he was in his own business, but he works very long hours. I'm just a home improvement contractor, so I'm kind of home alone. So on top of that, Tim and I are both very strong into our faith. And there came a time about 23 months ago, I think it was, that I was at like my lowest point. And I had a very college baby. I have 2 kids. Lily is 5 and Noah's now 2. But Noah, he was my handful. He put me on bed rest, 23 weeks to 32 weeks. He came 3 weeks early. Funny story. The doctor told me, like, oh, this is great. He's going to be really easy delivery. He's going to be a small baby. I had him 8 pounds. That was funny. So he was extremely colicky. He cried 24/7. So we were praying for a way out of our debt. We had medical bills from my son because we thought something was wrong with him because he was crying so much. So 23 months ago, I did a Google search. To this day, I cannot tell you what I Google searched. I have no idea. But Melanie's blog came up. And we started talking for about a month. And I decided, after praying with him, that I would go for it. And I would sign up to coach. I was not the best sign up for Melanie. I did not purchase a challenge pack. I paid $40. We had $150 in our bank account, so it's all in report. I did not finish Shakeology for the first 2 months of my business. I had never even tried it. And I bought.
They're trying to tell me to fix myself.
It's not you. You can turn it off. There's a on and off button, so just turn it off.
I'm saying my speech.
Go ahead. Don't move. You're good. Melanie's blog.
Sometimes we see squirrels too. So I talked to Melanie for about a month, and I decided to coach up for Frank with him. And I paid the $40. I did not buy a challenge pack. Sorry. I didn't drink Shakeology. I bought Insanity off the price list. She was one of those people. I have never been through a challenge group. I was as far as Melanie's a dropout. Yeah. So I became a coach to build a business. My family needed money, and that was my reason why I decided to do this. So, in that sense, don't disregard anyone who wants to sign up for $40. They can become an awesome coach.
And she is an awesome coach.
So now that you guys know a little bit about us, we want you to think about you. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Are you a recruiter or are you devoted to your challenge groups, and are you a challenge group groupie? Or do you prefer to work alone or with a success partner?
So, introverts and extroverts. An introvert is a shy person, not outgoing, doesn't like crowds. That's not my forte here. Finds them draining and actually needs time alone to recharge.
And an extrovert is not that. That is me. An extrovert is someone who is outgoing and who just loves big crowds and gets fueled with energy with big crowds and does not like to be alone. Boring. Go yellow. Go yellow. Yeah. Any yellows out here? Yeah.
So here's two posts that we did. They're both based off of a healthy tip, but as you can tell, mine is more subdued, it's more relaxed, more shy. It's about homemade hot chocolate, clean eating, and Deidre's is in your face, foaming at the mouth.
It's all good. I like to foam at the mouth. But it's a healthy tip, too. And people get that. You know what? Everyone craves food at night. So what do? You go brush your teeth, because you don't want to eat after you brush your teeth, right? It all works out. But yeah, you'll notice that if you look at my Facebook wall, I am in your face. I think I'm kind of fun and flashy. That's me. That's my personality. So, yeah, there we go.
All right.
All right, so now that you know the personality types, we are going to talk about your business types. So are you a coach recruiter or a challenger recruiter?
For myself, I am a strong working coach. More than challengers. Like I said before, I've never been through a challenge group. I started for the business opportunity, so those are the type of people that I attract. I have a lot of my coaches who have never been through challenge groups. They started for the business themselves. And what I do consists of inviting for the business opportunity. A sample invite would be something I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I'll search hashtags that are like me, and actually, based off of what Alyssa said, for me in my inviting for the coach process, I do search for fitness-related stuff, meeting-related stuff. I find a picture that I connect with, whatever it may be that catches my eye, and I go to their feed, I look at all their pictures, see if there's anything Beachbody related. If not, I will choose a picture to comment on, and I will say, all I say is I tag them and say, hey, are you a coach? And I wait for them. I do that about 50 of those a day. And when they tag me back, some of them do, some of them don't, and they say, no, I just love fitness, that's a great, 100% good conversation I'm going to show you right now. They don't all go like this, but I'll say, oh, great, would you ever have any interest in coaching? And they'll write back, this is all through one of their pictures, by the way. I'll write back, do you have any interest in coaching? And they'll say, what is it about? At that point, I will add them to Beachbody. A lot of the times I'll also add in, I'm looking for more motivational people like you, or more motivational moms like you, because I kind of target people that are like me. Although I always run a challenge group, I focus a lot on my coach groups and my business builders. That's just how I work. I created a Successful Start program. It's a 2-week course for my new coaches. I have a lot of coaches, and my coaches have a lot of coaches who bring in coaches for business. They want to take off running when they start, and this group with an accelerated coach manual they get in the group is 2 weeks long. It gives them all of the information that I had when I first started to run with business. And basically it teaches them from the start, hopefully the outcome is successful 5 and emerald in 2 weeks. I try to seek out those who are like me, and by this I mean my like page and my Instagram are filled with Christian faith-based stable moms or women that I can relate to. So when we're starting conversations and going over their goals and their lives, and I'm relating to them, they get the feeling of, wow, she gets me. Because that's super important. They need that connection there. I watch people on my social media. I'm not a stalker. But when something comes up on my news feed that's debt related, or I'm looking for a job, or I want to be able to see how my kid is, or look at this cleaning recipe, or look at my flashy fitness picture, I message them and I talk to them about this opportunity. It's one of the main things that I do to build my team.
All right, so, are you not done?
I do a lot of posts about the business opportunity. I talk about what it has done for me, my family, my team, what it's about, what we offer everyone, compared to transformation But I do that, but it's not like my top priority. Lastly, I turn my coaches into challengers. So when I sign on a coach that's a working coach, we start working on them finding challengers for challenge group, and they become a challenger with them. So you're learning how challenge group is run, along with sharing their personal journey in the challenge group, along with coaching.
All right, so as Kaylee turns her coaches into challengers, I actually like to turn my challengers into coaches. Challenge groups are my #1 focus. I started my entire journey with a challenge group. I know that it's changed my life, and I know that as I have run many challenge groups, we've had amazing transformations. You know, like Erin right there and Alyssa, and they have become amazing rock star coaches. But that's what I do. I focus on making them a challenger first. I run at least 1 challenge group a month, and that also helps you get your Success Club points. And as you rank advanced, it helps you out if you want to bring them on as a discount coach. Erin was one of my coaches who started, and I had her sign up as a discount coach. She's like, I'm not going to coach. And I'm like, okay, I just want to help you save the money. And you know what? That girl became a working coach, and she is a diamond, and she is rocking her business. So that's what it's about. I love doing that. But my goal is, for my challengers, I focus one-on-one with them, and I really help them to build a transformation, to build a success story so they already have one to tell. And then I show them how a challenge group is ran. And one thing that I really like to do is I give them the opportunity in my challenge groups to partake as a coach for the day. This gives them an opportunity to be a coach and to show what potential they have. And then after they do that, I contact them and I say, hey, you know, you did really well. You just did what I did. Have you ever thought of coaching? And then hopefully I can get them involved in a 5-day coaching informational group or have them listen to a business opportunity call. So, sorry, I was talking. And you'll notice a lot of my transformations. I have a lot of transformation stories on Facebook. And then I lead into giving the opportunity to a challenge group. So if you've ever read the book, Jab, Jab, Right Hook, I give the jabs, I do the transformation stories. I put on their entire story, their transformation. I make them a blog post and put them on there. And then after that, I have them get an opportunity to join my challenge. So also, I do post a lot about my own journey as an easy figure competitor. And even when I'm not, you'll notice I'm always posting about my journey, the good and the bad, because people will be able to relate to you better. I've branded myself, so as she talks about her social media, I have my like page is now my figure competition page. So I'm trying to attract people who are into fitness and who want to compete, and hopefully I can get them to join what we're doing. But I also have my Instagram page, what is Forever Fit Nurse. So I'm still talking about my nursing career and how we like to help others, get them involved that way.
Deidre, give me your mic and just share.
Is it really that slow? I can't tell that I'm doing anything. All right. So many of my challengers are in the health field or in an occupation where they love to help people. And that is where I recruit all of my people, and they become very successful. So I'm constantly trying to recruit people like me. So you want to make sure that you're branding yourself. Put yourself out there. You know, if you have another job, you have an occupation, talk about that. If you have another passion for something, talk about it, because that's how it's going to bring people to you.
Lastly, we want to talk about, would you prefer to work alone or with a success partner? For this presentation, we're really going to touch base on success partners, but we want you to know that if you do prefer to work alone, does not mean you cannot be successful in this business.
All right, so Kaylee and I are success partners, and we are best friends too. And yes, you can have your best friend or success partner. We became best friends because we were success partners, and we have worked together so well, and we have helped each other so much. You know, we bounce ideas off of each other. We help motivate each other, and you know, whenever she's having a bad day, I'm there to lift her up. Whenever I'm having a bad day, she's always there to lift me up. But we met at a weekend retreat with Melanie. That is how we met. So if you guys do not attend events, which you're here right now, so great job. But if there are other events that you can partake in, I recommend you going, because you never know what you're going to find. You never know what people you're going to meet and relationships you're going to build. And as you see in this presentation, we are kind of polar opposites. I like to say we're alike, but then she gets mad. But we are alike, and we are alike, but not alike at all. But it works out to our advantage. So, you know, like I said, whenever I'm down, we lift each other up, we motivate each other, and that's how we have been successful together.
So this little chart down here is our depiction of a balance of success partners. We actually have a trio success partner. Katie Ursa is one of ours as well.
Yeah, Ursa!
So this is kind of what we do for each other. Like I said, I'm struggling with recruitment for coaches. These are struggling with recruitment for challengers. So I help her with recruitment for outside of challenge groups for coaches, and vice versa. She helps me with challenge group recruitment. Katie is the positive, uplifting, keeps us grounded type of person. Our mom, basically. It's true. I mean, they're not saying she's old. So this is the 3 success partners that add value in 3 completely different ways. So you can get value from numerous approaches. It doesn't have to be one.
And one thing that I do want to say also with being success partners and how we balance each other, one thing Kaylee has really helped me with, I'm not going to get upset about it and cry. I'm not upset about it. I'm happy about it. I'm ecstatic about it. But you notice, Kaylee has talked about how much she is into her faith. I have not been into my faith. I would go to church, and I would get nothing in it. Heck, I live in an area where 50% are Hispanic. Cody? I don't know. A lot of people are Hispanic, so our priests, like, I can't even understand them half the time. So I usually didn't get anything out of it. I would go just to go and feel better to say I was there. It was Kaylee who has changed my life in that aspect. She got me into my faith when I was having my most terrible moments in my life over the past year. She has been there to lift me up, and she has gotten me into my faith, and I'm so excited that she has been able to do that, because it's changed my life. It really has. This isn't just about Beachbody. This is about your family, your friends, everything around you. So we have made a New Year's resolution that we are reading the Bible together every single day. And it's been a huge change for us. So huge change for me. I'm just starting my journey with this, and you'll notice that I'm sharing it, but it's an amazing journey. I'm not where she's at, but I'll get there, you know.
So this is our call to action for you guys. We want you to look at your personality and strengths and develop 5 characteristics that describe you as a strong coach.
And focus on your strengths, because that is how you are going to develop as a great coach and a leader.
Lastly, we want you to reach out and develop relationships with coaches. This is a perfect opportunity to step outside of your comfort zone, step outside of your team, and find a personality that is either polar opposites or something that you guys connect with. Because for me, and I can speak to you as well, that finding a success partner is not based off of posting in a group saying, does anybody need a success partner, or an interview process. It really comes with connecting with people, and I believe that it must be outside of team. We're linear coaches on Mel's team, and she's not on my team, I'm not on her team. We just bonded, I don't know. But
you know why we're so much alike? Because I just found out today that our second toes are bigger than our first. It's so awesome, we're so much alike, I'm telling you. All right, so we are going to, are we done? Yeah, we're going to finish off. We're going to finish off by.
We'll ask them at the end.
Oh, okay, we're going to do questions at the end.
We'll do that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
right, thank you, ladies. Okay, so I get the honor and privilege of following all of these amazing presentations. As I was sitting there listening to them talk, I'm like, wow, there are some amazing coaches that have had such an amazing journey, and to watch them from the day they signed up, being unsure, doubting themselves, second guessing themselves as they went through to now standing up here on stage being so confident and so full of life and just having such a message to deliver. It's a really surreal experience. So I get to spend the next 20 minutes telling you a little bit about myself and about my business. And so like Katie had said, she's like, gosh, what have people not already heard? And I really struggled with what to present today. So you want to hit the next slide. I'm just going to give you a brief background on who I am. And this is actually my before and after picture. So I started my journey in 2011. So I have two boys, Landon and Bryce. Bryce will be 4 on Wednesday. So about 3 or 4 months after he was born, I was sitting on my couch and I was eating celery and peanut butter and I had made a post on Facebook about wanting to lose weight. And just that afternoon, I had been up in my bedroom. I don't know how many of you switch your clothes around for the season. So I was putting my winter clothes away and I was getting out my spring clothes, and something my mom taught me to do. I don't know why. So anyways, I was pulling out my clothes, and after having a baby, your body just changes. It just is not the same anymore. And miraculously, all my shirts had shrunk. You know, my pants were too tight. I had this little thing that hung over, you know, my pants. And for me, the way I feel is very much so dictated by the way I feel in my clothes, by the way I look. And as selfish as I think that is, that's like my confidence. You know, if I feel good, if I look good in my clothes, then I'm confident. And I was really lacking that. And so having this newborn and having a 2-year-old at home, all I could think was I have these great healthy blessings, but I'm a very unhappy person in my own skin, and something needed to change. And so there came that idea that I was going to eat celery and peanut butter to lose weight. So I made that Facebook post, and actually a friend messaged me. Somebody I had not talked to in 5 years, and this person actually was Nikki. That's my upline coach, and our husbands actually went to high school together, and they had a little falling out and were not speaking to each other. And so when Nikki messaged me and said, hey, would you like to join a challenge group? I was like, sure, I'll do this. And Matt's over there going, no, you can't do that. We're not talking to that. No, you know, and I'm like, no, this sounds really good. I want to do this. And so at that time, money was tight. So Matt, we had made the decision for me to stay home. That was actually my dream, was to be a stay-at-home mom, making crafts and doing things, play dates with my kids. That was my goal in life, was to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I worked part-time with Landon, but when Bryce was born, we said, all right, whatever it takes, we're going to cut the corners. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, and this is what we were going to do. So when this challenge group came about, there was no money. Like, I couldn't buy a program. I couldn't buy Shakeology. I had to ask if I could go grocery shopping if we had enough money in the bank account that week. You know, and so it was just not a question. So my neighbor down the street had Insanity, and so I borrowed it from her. I did not drink Shakeology when I started. She put me in a challenge group called the Summer Slim Down Challenge, and my journey began there. And it was something about the challenge group that just drew me in. I loved that support where I could be home, you know, with my kids, but then I was connected to all of these people, and I would log in and they were sharing their transformation pictures and motivational quotes, and that's what fed my fire. I just loved it. And so 30 days into my challenge, I had not lost any weight. So I was cardioing myself to death. I was doing Insanity in a little tiny space in my basement. I cleared out our storage room, took my laptop down there, and that's where I was working out at 2 in the afternoon when my kids were asleep for a nap. And so I was struggling. I was struggling to get through the workouts. There were some days I would lay on the floor and cry, thinking my body was never going to change. You know, I thought 1 week I should drop 10 pounds, right? And so I found out through my challenge group that it was my nutrition. My nutrition was really lacking. And I started to investigate clean eating. And that is really where my life started to change, where I started to implement it in my family, and where the results started to happen. So at the end of 60 days, I had lost about 15 pounds. And then I went on to do P90X and lost a total of 30 pounds. So that's what that before and after is. So I started out like many of you did, right? No background in social media. I had less than 100 friends on Facebook. I'm shy, actually, and I have really bad anxiety, something I've dealt with since I was in college. So getting up here to speak, I would have never imagined this is what I was doing. So after my transformation, I put together these pictures and I showed them to my coach, and she said, Melanie, you have to do this. You have to be a coach. I said, I don't think so, right? I don't think it's for me. And so she met me for coffee at Starbucks, and she went through the whole business opportunity with me, sent me the little what is a Team Beachbody coach video, and the wheels started to turn. I was like, maybe I could do this. I think I could be good at this. You know, I like these challenges. I could take it and make it something else. So I approached Matt about signing up as a coach, and for those of you that do know my story, you know that it was like, ooh, if this is not happening, that is a ripoff. You do not have money for that. This is a big scam. You are not going to be a part of this. And he goes, you want to go back to work? Then go get a part-time job. So put the kids in daycare and you can go back to work. And so my mind started going, and like, but I really could be good at this. I really think I can help people. So it was in July, and I actually saved up the money that my parents, my in-laws, and sister-in-law gave me for my birthday. And at that time, we did a challenge pack, so I paid the $40 and bought a bag of Shakeology and signed up to be a coach, and I didn't say anything to Matt about it. So about a week went by, and I'm trucking along, watching the videos in the back office, and I said to Matt, sitting on the couch, I turned to Matt and I said, son, new Beachbody coach. He looked at me and he said, that was the stupidest thing you've ever done. He goes, I hope you enjoy that bag of powder, and in 30 days, don't think you're going to be ordering another one. He's like, and this is going to fail. So good for you that it was your money. Do not think you're using our family money to continue this. And so I don't know about you guys, but I get a little competitive. I was like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you that I can do this. And so I truly feel that was part of my driving force. But honestly, I said to him, I remember saying, I just want to change one person's life. I really not only physically changed, but mentally I was a more positive person. I was eating better, and I just kept saying, like, Matt, I can do this. I can really help people by running these challenge groups. And so just like all of you, I started with nothing. My Facebook feed was truly just full of me going through my friends' pictures. I never made any kind of post. I knew nothing about what I was doing. So I just set out to start a free clean eating book club. That was the first thing that I did in my business. So I didn't even require people to purchase anything. I just had them create a free account under me, had them buy the book, and that was my first month as a coach. All right, so I'm going to kind of walk you through the process of my business because I feel like I did different things at different stages to get to where I am today. So let me talk about the first 6 months. How did I make it through? So like I said, I started my first challenge group. It was a free clean eating group. The first month that I was a Beachbody coach, I made $30. I sold one quarter of Shakeology to my sister-in-law. That was it. So I obviously did not hit success level. But how many people would get frustrated and quit? How many people, after posting 3 to 5 times a day, doing your workouts, inviting and sharing and following up after 30 days would just say, I'm not good at this, I'm done. But in my mind, I just kept saying, I got this, I can do this, I'm going to help one person. I don't care if I make $0, I can make an impact. And so I just kept going with the inviting and the posting. So in month 2, I did earn Success Club 5, and I did become an Emerald coach. And then 9 months later, I became a Diamond. But let me kind of tell you how that happened. So I'm getting a lot of no's. I'm getting frustrated. I'm not having a lot of success, but I would get on these Monday night calls. And at that time, it was a part of the Bombshell Dynasty, and I would listen to the recognition. And I would listen to people getting these high volume points. And I would listen to their stories of what they were doing. And we didn't have Coach Basics. We didn't have an Emerald to Diamond. We didn't have a Rising Stars. We didn't have any of that. So I was out there Google searching everything. I was out there just kind of winging it. I would follow the other top coaches. I would say I stalked them, right? So I would look at their news feeds, and if I liked the picture that they were posting, I would save it to a file on my computer of ideas, of post ideas. I would copy and paste their words into a Word document, and then I would rework it into my own. My beginning parts of being a coach were not always original. It was things that I saw from other people that I adapted to fit my life. So I just became very observant. The other thing I started was I think it's on the next slide, but I did a challenge group, right, every single month. And no matter what, no matter if I had 0 people or I had 2 people, I would keep going. Every month I would start a new challenge group because I knew the challenge groups were the bread and butter of my business. And I knew that no matter what, that's how I was going to have an influence. Because I was really afraid of inviting. I mean, I was deathly afraid of inviting. And it scared me, but I found a way to do it. And I found a way through my blog. So in the first 6 months, I also created my Committed to Getting Fit blog. Now, I think Alyssa said it earlier. I did not wait until I had all the bells and whistles up there. I literally just went to Blogger, created a free blog. I went to GoDaddy and I bought MelanieMitro.com and I linked the 2 together and I made my first post about my why and my transformation story. And then I shared that on Facebook. And then the next day, I wrote a clean eating recipe, something that my family loved. And I would always do, kid tested, husband approved. They were always things that we ate as a family. And I would blog about it. And then I would blog about my weekly progress. Every single week, whatever program I was doing, I would do week 1 progress update, week 2 progress update. I would share my meal plans, my recipes. I would always talk about what was going on in my life. So it's the holidays and I ate a whole tray of Christmas cookies and now I feel awful. And I would talk about that. I would talk, and then I would say, here's what I'm doing to get back on track. So in my mind, those blog posts were my way of teaching people how to make better choices. And so and every time I created this blog post, I would put it on Facebook. So it became one of my 3 to 5. It also became my secondary source of social media, right? I didn't know I was doing any of this at the time. I didn't know that this was building momentum in my business. I just was thinking, okay, how can I help other people be successful? I would wake up every single morning, 5 a.m. to do my workout. I would post on Facebook. I would have my morning Facebook post. And no matter what, every single day, I got up and I pressed play. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so let me talk about my keys to my success in the first year. So The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson was the very first book that I read. That book, and I never read a personal development book in my life, right? I never had read a book, I'm not a really big reader, so not really anything beginning to end that was of value. And so this book was kind of the first one that was recommended to me on a team call. And this book really changed my mentality. Because as somebody that goes from, just being at home with our kids to starting these challenge groups and really seeing that I could do something with this, and I saw people having success, and I thought, okay, how can I make more of that? How can I start hitting Success Club 5? How can I start recognizing? I started applying the Slight Edge. The Slight Edge is all about doing the small, mundane tasks in your life that are insignificant almost, right? Like posting on Facebook is kind of insignificant. Writing a blog post is insignificant at first. Messaging people, not a big deal. But when you add all of those things together and you do them over time, that's what brings about success in your business. So it's not like one secret sauce, it's all of these things together done consistently over time. But when I listened to this, and he said, you'll be willing to do what other people are not willing to do so that 5 years from now you can have what other people wish that they could have, like, oh, that was 5 a.m. That was that alarm going off at 5 a.m. when Grace didn't sleep through the night and me getting out of bed. It was when I wasn't feeling my best and maybe I had a cold and I was getting up to do my workout. It was I stayed up too late the night before doing Beachbody work and now it's 5 a.m. I'm getting out of bed. And there were mornings that I would have to lay there and say, you're awake, you're awake, you're awake, you're awake. Get out of bed, get out of bed. People are counting on you. If you don't get out of bed, your business is not going to grow. And it started with that decision in my workouts. It was that mentality of every time I ate a meal, okay, you have to stay on track because this is your business. People are watching you. They want to see you fail, so you have to show them that it works, that you can succeed. And so it was that mentality with my nutrition. It was with my workouts. It was my Facebook posts. And it was 24/7, whatever it took. I went on vacation, laid out all my snacks that I was packing, my Shakeology, my workout DVDs. I would take pictures of it. I would write a blog post about it. I would teach people how to travel and stay healthy. So I was not out there begging people to buy products. I was not out there posting salesy posts. I was trying to show people that they could do it too, no matter who they were, no matter what obstacles that they had, that they could make a change. And over time, people started to come to me. People started to get more likes on my Facebook posts. And, things weren't always ignored anymore, right? How many of you make a post and it's like, zero, nothing, I got nothing. But people saw it because I would go to the grocery store and somebody would stop me and say, I use your recipes all the time for dinner. Or I have you up on my iPad and I cook with your recipes. Or you really inspire me. I started running, I started getting up. Or they would say, you're crazy. I can't believe you get up at 5 a.m. and work out like that. But no matter what, I stuck in their head, whether it was good or it was bad. I was making them think about their life and their decisions. So this light edge really was the thing for me that helped me to gain that momentum over time. The next thing is, as I started going along, I stopped thinking about myself as an employee. I started thinking about this is my business. I am the CEO of my own company. I have the ability to do anything I want with this. This is a platform for me to help other people. And it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing or how they're building their business. This is what I'm going to do. And this is the way I'm going to make it work. And that's what I did. So blogging and my Facebook were my two big areas. Winning mindset. I failed way more times than I can imagine. And I say this all the time, and it's not against Katie, but I missed going to leadership, and we always talk about this, right? Yes. So, I was almost 2-star, because you have to 2-star to go to leadership, and I missed it 1 week. And nobody knew that. Like, I didn't say you may not be able to go to leadership. It's fine. But that was a defining moment for me. I had my goal board up where I worked out every single morning, and on that goal was to go to that leadership event. And I missed it. And I can remember working out and the little tears running down my face because other people were going to that leadership event, and I felt like I deserved it more than they did. I felt like I had worked harder, I should have been there. And in my mind, I just said to myself, no, you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You are in the point in your business where you're supposed to be right now because of the actions you've taken. Right? It was not going to be handed to me. I had to work for it. And so that failure was the biggest failure of my business. And the best failure, because it set me up for success. From that point forward, I was like, absolutely not. I will outwork you. I will work harder. I will work smarter, and everything. And I would watch them all at that leadership event. I'm like, I'm over here messaging people, and I'm going to get ahead of the game while you guys are all having fun. And I changed my thought process, right? And so I went from 2-star in November of 2012, and then January came, and I went to a 5-star in March, and in the next year, I went from 5-star to 15-star and number 2 in the company. Because I made that shift in my mindset, and I said, yeah, I failed, I missed that goal, but that doesn't define me, right? I'm going forward, and I'm moving forward with this.
So you're welcome. You're welcome.
So you're welcome. You're welcome, right? All right, so sacrifices. Sacrifices have to happen to get to this spot, right? So I feel like we, as Beachbody coaches, we go out there and paint this great picture of how awesome our business is and how we get to work from home and how we have these great selfies and we do these workouts and we get all these benefits. But let's face it, we worked hard. We worked our tails off to get where we are. And it takes a little give and take. So I think sometimes we come into it not really having realistic expectations of what it takes to get there. But does that necessarily mean you give up all of your freedom? All of your life? Does that mean you have no balance and it's all Beachbody and no family? Absolutely not. But the sacrifice comes to where you place priority in your life. And so for me, again, that 5 a.m. workout was my sacrifice. It was me not sleeping in because I knew I needed to get my business started because my kids were going to wake up and I needed to shut it off and be present with them while they were awake. It meant being home every day at 2 o'clock so that they could take a nap and so that I could work my Beachbody business. It meant that the TV shows I used to watch in the evenings at 9 o'clock at night when they went to bed, now we're on my computer working my Beachbody business. It meant on Saturdays, I got up early, even when it was a rest day, and I worked my business instead of working out. It was all those little sacrifices of times when I didn't have to do it. I'm tired, I want to sleep in. But I did it anyways because I wanted to achieve the goals that I had set for myself. I saw the bigger picture. I was really starting to see where this business could go for me. And so I hear it all the time. I hear these little excuses of why you can't make it work. And you just have to think about how bad do you really want it? I mean, what does success mean to you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Is it important enough to you to give up little things along the way? Spend your life working hard for 3 years so that you can provide for your family for the next 20, 30 years. And I'll just share this with you. So it's sacrifices, and some of you are thinking, well, I can't give that up. Our hard work for the past 3.5 years have afforded Matt and I to be able to write 2 checks to pay for both of our boys' entire college education. Gone, done. If Beachbody went away for whatever reason, they would go to school. I've done my job, right? I've done my job. So is it worth the sacrifice? Is it worth it? And consistency. I've said that before, I'll say it again, 24/7, whatever it takes. I had surgery almost 2 years ago. I had to have a hernia fixed. I had really bad diastasis rectus, and then so I had surgery to fix that. And so I couldn't work out for 8 weeks. I was in my bed for 2 weeks. You know what I did? I bought the audio, the Chalene Johnson Car Smart. I took my laptop upstairs. Matt had a station beside my bed, and I couldn't move, so I just worked. I worked for like 3 weeks straight. I just sat there on my computer. When most people would say, oh, I'm in pain, and I don't feel well, and I'm kind of sleepy. I'm just going to sleep and watch movies and do nothing. I worked my business. I took that consistency. No matter what, whatever it took, I still did it anyways. Creativity. All right, so you can work a lot, but you can work a lot doing nothing. You know, you can stand up, you can get on the computer, and you can just throw darts at a dartboard. You can post about your family, you can post about your fitness, you can talk about, I mean, you can be all over the place. You know, your family vacations, your trips, your scrapbooking, your, you know, weight loss, and then getting abs, but be a healthy mom. You know, you can have all these different areas, and you're just stabbing in the dark, and there's no clear direction. And I think that's very important. You know, when you feel like you're struggling, a lot of times you're like, well, I'm just going to try this, and I'm going to try that. I'm just going to see if it sticks. And that doesn't work. And I'll give you a perfect example is I decided I was going to do, around spring break time, a Brazil butt lift challenge group. And I was going to market this to people going on spring break. I got 0 challengers. My network does not go on spring break, and we are not trying to ads. Right? That's just, I have moms, I attract moms. I did a Battle of the Bulge challenge group, and I filled it up with 20 to 30 women that were trying to lose weight after having kids, right? So, you know, but I was creative in my approach. So it wasn't join my challenge group, every single one. Join my 21-day fix challenge group. It was Battle of the Bulge, you know, Busy Women's Challenge. It was, and I came up with these creative names month after month after month because I wanted to keep intriguing people. And I thought if I change it up, and maybe I talk about the holidays and holiday temptations, that it'll catch somebody different every single time that's struggling with something different in their lives. And so that's the creativity piece. I was always thinking outside of the box of how I could draw people to me so that I didn't have to go out there and find as many people. They would start coming to me. All right, thick skin. Gotta have a little thick skin. People are gonna tell you no. People are gonna ignore you. People are gonna make fun of you. They're gonna block you. They're gonna tell you what you're doing is stupid and dumb and a waste of time and a waste of money. But is this their life? No, absolutely not. Are you hurting anybody by what you're doing? Are you leading them in the wrong path? Are you making them buy something that doesn't work? Are you gonna sign them up and not support them? Absolutely not. You're none of that. Grow a little thick skin and realize that you have a good thing, you have something to offer, and you are really helping other people change their life. You're really making a difference. We start to think about that. We start to think about why are these people saying these things? A lot of times it's their own reason, right? So maybe they are struggling with their health and fitness, but it comes out that way to you. What do I say to people? You can block me here, I'll show you how. You can unfollow me. If you just go to my timeline and click that drop down that says unfollow my post, I can still be your friends. You don't have to unfriend me, you just don't have to see my stuff. And I've told that to so many family members, I can't even count. So you have to have a little, but I also shed a few tears getting to that point because it hurts. We're people pleasers, we want to make other people happy. But in the end, this is your business. Notice everything that I've talked about. Did I have any skills? Did I have any schooling for social media or Facebook or how to blog? No, none. Not skills at all. These are all things each and every one of you can teach yourself how to do. All right, developing systems. So this is my thing. This is the one thing that helped me in that year that I went from 2 to 15 star. So your business as a Beachbody coach, if you're looking to really grow, the key word here is duplicatable. Always as a coach, no matter if you're sitting here as a coach, an emerald, ruby, diamond, star diamond, is your system duplicatable, or are you the only person that can do this? Can you teach this to the next coach that signs up on your team? Do you have a system for it? So I created, the first thing I started with was my challenge groups, because we didn't have challenge group guides. So I created a Google document where every day when I posted into the challenge group, I also posted in the Google document. And so I was creating a guide with all the pictures, all the images, and so I could give this to my new coaches when they signed up and say, here, this is our challenge group guide. We're gonna run a challenge group together, but you can follow along, or you can take this and make it your own. I would do the same thing with getting a new coach started right. How many times I did a getting started right interview, or I did a coach basics and it fell flat on its face, right? Everybody quit, everybody failed. I just kept going. I just kept saying, all right, I gotta tweak one little thing. Let me change this. And every time I figured out one little nugget that worked, I'd add it to my Google document of how to get a new coach started right. I'd write a welcome email. That didn't work very well. I would tweak it a little bit. I'd share it with the rest of my team. Coach basics. I started running them as soon as possible. I raised my hand on my first Success Club trip and said, I want to help develop Coach Basics. Who was that? Nobody knew me. But I had set a goal at the beginning of the year to create a system for training new coaches. And when corporate stood up and said we need volunteers, I raised my hand. It didn't matter what rank I was. I knew that I wanted to be a part of that. And so I started using Coach Basics from the get-go. And I took what Beachbody created, and then I took what worked for me and made a system. And then I trained every single one of my coaches how to use that system as well. Emerald to diamonds. You go from a brand new coach, 30-day coach basics, then it goes into emerald to diamond, created a system for that. An emerald coach need to know. What steps do you need to know to get to diamond, right? There is one of those in the coach online office. There's an emerald to diamond. It's really good. But here's the thing. Don't you find things to make it better? Don't you find YouTube videos from other coaches that you really like or enrichment out there? Add that in there. Save that as a Word document and start adding to it. Or make your own videos. I think that's a really key piece too, is you're like, man, this is hard to explain. I'm just gonna make a YouTube video and make it unlisted and just share it with your team, but it gets you used to that, right? So it's always thinking about how can I make it better? How can I make it so that my coaches are more successful? It wasn't like, oh, we finished that 30 days and it really stunk and nobody got to diamond. It was, all right, what do I need to change next time so that it's better? And you do it over and over and over again, and you never stop, no matter how good or how bad it is. Putting other people's success before your own. And I've talked to Katie about this a lot. There are mornings, every Thursday, I don't even look at my bank account. I don't look at my paycheck. I don't, whatever's deposited in there is great. The first thing I do when I wake up is, who ran advance? Who within Success Club? You know, who's struggling? Who do I need to reach out to? You know, what can I do? Somebody needs a call? All right, fine. I'll switch around my schedule so that I can get on the phone with you so that I can talk to you. You want to hit 5-star diamond and elite? Okay, let's do it. What do we have to do to get there? When you start thinking about your team's goals and your challengers' goals, you can even start this at the basic level of your challengers. What do they need? Do I need to meet them for coffee? Do I need to help them meal plan? Do I need to take them to the grocery store? Start there. Start with your challengers. Practice putting their success before your own. Not thinking of them as a Success Club point, but thinking of them as a success story. And do that with your coaches too. And your mentality starts to shift. You start to have so much more success because you're focused on what they need and not what you need to get to your next level. All right, and share your vision. I started doing this very early. Even when I had a team page of 20 people and I was the only person that posted. Only person. And for a very long time, I was the only person in my team page. I would copy and paste things. Nobody would respond. But I just kept going. So I'm like, someday, somehow, some way, it's all going to work out. And I would share my vision. I would say, this is what I want to do. I want to create a system to help you guys be successful. And the more I shared what I wanted to do for them, the more they started to come around and the more it started to happen. So share what you're excited about, where you want to get as a team. All right, and this is my last slide. Having a recruiting game plan, because I get this question a lot. So I really started, so this was kind of the first 2 years. This got me up to, where I was at 15 star. I finished #2. Then this past year, something that I really focused on was this concept of having a recruiting game plan. And I've taught this to a lot of my leaders. I mean, anybody that's kind of in the Emerald to Diamond and Plus really knows this. But it's important to have a game plan. So let's start with your challenge groups. Do you have a schedule of when you're going to run your challenge groups? Do you take time at the end of every month to say, these are going to be the start dates for what I'm going to do the following month? And then if you have a small enough team, do you go out there and say, all right, team, these are the dates we're starting challenge groups. These are the days we're doing sneak peeks. Here's when the business opportunity call is going to be. Here's when the new coach apprenticeship call is going to be. I outline everything that I want to do, but I do it with a purpose and a strategy. So I start out the first Monday of every single month running a coach apprenticeship program. And mine are 30 days, you can do 30 or 60, you can follow the one in the Coach Online office. But I start them on the first Monday. I give 3 weeks, so 3 weeks in is my first challenge group of the month. Why do I do it that way? Because any new coaches that come into our team, that gives them 3 weeks to invite to the first challenge group. They're not having to figure it out on their own. I'm telling them the date that it's going to start. I'm telling them how to invite, what kind of challenge group it's going to be, and then I'm going to run the challenge group for them. They're going to invite their customers in there, and so it's going to take away some of the stress and anxiety of having to do it on their own. So I'm basically saying, here you go, and our goal is going to get you to help 3 to 5 people this month, which is going to help you get Success Club your first month as a coach. That's going to earn you a call with Carl Eichler, Success Starter. If you do it for 3 months, you'll get to go to Summit, you get a free Summit ticket. So I just start every coach out like that. First Monday of the month, third Monday is the challenge group. And so this helps me with my marketing strategy. And I have one every single month. So I'll give you an example. Mine was, what did I do? Oh, busy moms. Busy moms. So building a business, working full time was one that I did. So I was my whole thought process around that 30 days was power hour, cutting out the fluff. Like, you don't have to do all of this social media stuff. Let's just focus on, inviting and getting 3 to 5 people. So one whole month, all my posts were pictures of my power hour, pictures of my schedule, me talking about how I manage my time. And I did that on social media. And the whole point of that was I was looking for people that wanted to build a business while working full time. And my marketing strategy was showing them little nuggets of how I did that in my own life. And I made my little Woohoo document, my application, which is like a free site. You can create an application. I would have people fill that out so I could get more information about them. And that's how I started getting, in different types of people to join my team as coaches. I did the same thing with my challenge groups. Busy women's challenge group, busy women's fitness group. And so I was targeting people that didn't have a lot of time, 21 day fix, 30-minute workouts, T25. And I was talking, and then I would share crumb pot meals and things that were quick and easy, things you could make ahead of time. So I just changed the wording of the way I put things out there. And then I would feature success stories on my Facebook page of people that were busy women doing T25 and Sandy Max 30 and so on and so forth. And every single month, and there are sometimes it took me 3 weeks to figure out what my marketing strategy would be for the next month, but I always had a game plan. And every month it reinvigorated my business, and that is what helped me to really recruit a lot of coaches and customers last year, was that ability to keep it fresh, keep it new, have new ideas, and be creative. Always have something to invite to, right? So when you're thinking of this strategy, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your team, because you always want them to have something to invite to. If you don't help them at the beginning, most likely they will do nothing. They won't start a challenge group on their own because they're nervous and they're scared. Think about how you feel the first time you put yourself out there when you announce that you were a Beachbody coach. It's a scary thing. So if you can always have something that they can invite to, you will have much more success at getting your new coaches started right. All right. So those were really the main things that have helped me get to where I am today. And so I really feel very blessed by the team that I have and how hardworking they are and how they stuck with me through this process of figuring it out. Because I really feel like we just figured it out along the way, and now we're perfecting it. And so as we kind of go through this year, and as I've been mulling over, what are my goals? Where do I see myself? What do I want to do? You know, I really feel strongly that we have some great leaders on this team, and we have such a great vision, and our passion is to take it to the next level this upcoming year. It is to, what do we need to do to create a better system for training, for creating star diamonds, for creating leadership. And I feel like we're doing a great job of getting there. So we really hope to see so many of you up on the stage next year being recognized for Elite, or Success Club All-Stars, or Top 10, or for having a success story that has changed somebody else's life. So whatever that may be, commit to that today. Commit to those goals and writing them out and creating a plan of action. Because we as a leadership team are committed and dedicated to helping you get there. All right, guys. Next, we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A session. So if you guys have questions, if you want to, maybe I'm going to kind of walk around with the mic, and I'm going to have everybody that is in, we have a great little wall. Anybody that is 3-star and above, we have our own little leadership group. So everybody that's on that wall can come up, grab your chair, and we're just going to line them up here. And we're going to start the Q&A. So does anybody have a question? Raise your hand. And what I'm going to do, we're going to do 30 minutes. We're going to finish right at noon, and then we're going to take a picture. So, and you can either point the question at somebody, or you can just say in general. All right? All right. So who's first? Raise your hand.
Hi ladies, my questions, I guess, to anybody. I'm a newer coach, and can you kind of define inviting? I feel like is it actually talking to somebody and asking them to come, or is it general posts? You know, it's a little bit more about what that is. You guys hear that?
Yeah, do we have a mic up here? Like,
yeah, you know what? I'll carry this other one around that doesn't work so well.
No.
Yep.
So we're going to set them.
Give us 1 second. Let's just get this.
Hey, we're live.
Okay, so I'm going to have Matt walk around and take questions.
Go figure.
All right, so the one about the inviting. Who is that? That's me.
It's not going to work, is it? Maybe. Let's just do that. All right, let's just do that. Anytime. Yeah, so why don't you guys, if you have a question, let's just line you up over here. So if you want to make your way over, and we'll just do it that way. So I'm going to have you re-say your question again. I think that would be helpful since we were all getting started. So yell it. I'm afraid that we won't be able to hear it. So here you go.
Hi, everybody. I am a newer coach. I just started a couple months ago. And I'm looking at I'm hearing the invite. Is that like talking to somebody and personally saying to them, come do this group, or can you kind of give me a little bit more of a general post that I can do, or what? I feel like I'm not quite grasping that.
I think that everybody looks at inviting a little bit differently. So for me, personally, I think that inviting also means connecting with people. I teach my coaches to do the power of 3. And that basically means that you are connecting with 3 different people every single day. So either through social media, whether it's an old friend, just making those connections. If you're making connections with people, building relationships daily, when you post about a challenge group, first of all, it's going to show up in the newsfeed. And then second of all, when it comes to actually doing an invite, it's not so awkward and it's not so strange. I hate to invite. Probably most people probably do. And so I really rely on that attraction marketing. So if you look at invites, it's just for myself. I look at that as making connections with different people, whether it's through Instagram, whether it's through Facebook, and just building those kind of relationships. And then when I send out my actual invites, a lot of times it's just, hey, how are you? What's going on? That kind of connection type piece. If there is an opportunity for me to send an invite, whether it's financial reasons, whether it's health reasons, that's when I send the invite at that time. That's personally what I do.
I just want to add, I've gotten really good at trying to formulate posts so I know who to invite to. Because sometimes if you're just shooting in the dark, you're really filtering out people who genuinely are not interested and trying to find people that are and can benefit. So think about what posts you can use in your timeline for likes or comments. And then those are the people that you kind of have direction on knowing who to connect with.
All right, next question.
Just real simple. What is Premier and Elite?
Okay, so Premier is, so these are your rewards programs for Beachbody. So what Beachbody does is they base it on your team, and it's not necessarily what you necessarily do and how many Success Club points you have or challenge packs that you sell. It's based on how well your team does. So in order to be an elite coach, in a calendar year, 12 months, you have to have, this year it's 135 elite points, and you have to be a 5-star diamond. So you have to have at least 2 personally sponsored diamonds ranked in 2015. And those points are accrued from 3 different categories, and it's your personally sponsored coaches that are in Success Club, that hit Success Club 5, and it's last year and this year. Your personally sponsored coaches that have over 500 PV a week, every time they hit over 500, you get a point. And then it's from the volume of your first 3 levels of your business. So all the volume that your coaches, their coaches, and coaches produce, those all get tallied into numbers. You get a report every month. When you hit 135 and you're 5-star diamond, you become an elite coach for that year. So you have a calendar year to do that. Premier is 2 stars, so you're 2-star. And is it 135 still for Premier? Okay, all right, and it's the same type of qualifications for that too. But there's no cap. So with Elite, you can only earn a certain amount of points in each category. With Premier, it's uncapped, so you get as much as you can to get there.
Also, in the you have a minimum.
Yeah, you have a minimum of 10 that you have to get for the advancement team volume category. Does that help? All right, thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Shannon Albright. I just want to first thank you all for doing everything that you can to help us succeed. Thank you. Really hard, sorry. My question to you, I guess, Alyssa, when you boost your ads, do you boost to everybody or do you just boost to people who like your page and their friends?
It's targeted. So I boost my,
All right, like pages. Okay, so when you're going to boost a post, there's 2 different options that you can do. You can do friends of friends. You're going to be boosting your post to a lot of Beachbody coaches. So I really don't suggest doing that. And so what I do is target. I choose women because I work well with women. Not that I don't like men. I've actually hung out with more men in my life than women. It's kind of like the first time I've had a lot of women friends. So I choose women because I like to work with women and I relate to women. Then I choose a specific age. So for myself, this is going to be different for everybody, but pretty much 25 to 45. That's pretty much what I like to work with. Again, your target market. So registered nurses, Oprah. I feel like people that follow Oprah are into motivation and inspiration. So instead of just saying like John C. Maxwell or something like that, I will put in Oprah. Sometimes I'll put in weight loss. But a lot of times it's just things that are in my target market, and that's who I'm boosting my post towards. Anybody else?
No, I put in Ellen DeGeneres. She's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do that to get page likes, but you also do that to.
Yep.
And does that count as inviting?
No.
So inviting is not, making an event, inviting all of your friends, I don't count that as an invite. Do you guys count that? No? Yeah, I don't either, so it has to be an actual invite. Thank you, Shannon. Come on up.
My name's Carrie Shaw. I have done it under my wonderful coach, Tula, and I have some questions. I recently am getting overwhelmed with the customers and contacts and everything. You know, if I had another job as well, I have a family, big provider at home. So I want to ask you guys, you know, because of where you are and like that, do you have any tips? I know Alyssa touched on freelance a little bit, on how we can help manage everything. You know, I have a blog, I have Instagram, I have Facebook. I'm putting too much time into all of them. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to get help while also kind of staying genuine to who I am. You know what I mean? Like, if I hire someone freelance, how do they know who I am posting for me? Like, to me, it's I don't know. So I'm wondering if you have any tips on what you use or how, you know what I mean?
We'll let Kaylee and Katie answer that. Okay.
So I learned a lot from Christine Johnson. I listened to one of her videos, I don't know what it was, but when I first started, and something that really stuck with me was, if you want to succeed and you want to grow, you need to delegate the things that you're not good at. You have to be willing to invest in your business. If you're spending time on Instagram and you're not good at it, trying to find followers, you're wasting your time. Your time can be spent doing something that you're good at. So that's where something like email can come in, and you have people there where you can pay them $3.23 a day to grow your Instagram account for you. And at that point, you have the followers, the genuine followers. Basically what I did is I just messaged someone, I put up a job posting, and then I put my criteria. And then when people started sending me proposals, I would talk to them and I would tell them the type of target market that I wanted them to look for. What they could do and what they could not do. Like control freaks, so they have to watch them, obviously watch what they do. Because sometimes I tell them nobody else in multi-level marketing, so sometimes you'll find that you have an It Works following you and you're following them, so I'll actually go back in and unfollow them. You know, but that's kind of how I run it. So I have somebody do that. My blog, I had somebody, I am not technically savvy at all. I started Facebook like this with 460 friends. I only have like 30, but it wasn't my forte with working with social media. So I had somebody from Etsy develop my blog just to make it pretty, and I post on it. But it's just delegating the things you're not good at to have somebody else do, because you're gonna waste your time.
All right, so I think I'm a little different, and I hope that's okay. So I actually do not delegate. What you see is truly what you get. So my blog is me. My like page is me, and I don't do Instagram, I don't do Twitter. But I'm gonna say this. I knew that if I focused on 2 outlets, that was all I could handle, and that I could put my heart into. So for me, it was my blog, and it was consistency in the blog, 2 to 3 a week. I still do. And then once I felt like I had a handle on that, I added the like page. My like page just started, I believe in May, is when I started it. Consistency with the like page. The only thing that I have found that investment-wise has worked for me is my boost. And that was, I believe, Alyssa's tip that she had given me a while ago. But I don't want anyone to think you have to invest hundreds of dollars every month after month, into your business. You don't have to do this. As a starting coach, focus on those 3 vital behaviors. Get out that business activity tracker as much as you freaking hate that thing. I swear to you, it works magic. So again, I worked full time. This past year, I wasn't working, but I could not work 3 days a week. So you just have to remember, keep it basic. Don't try to do everything because then you just stink at everything. Focus on what you can do, focus on the controllable, and give your heart and soul to those things, those outlets that you have. And then when you do that, then start to think about how can I add, then start to think about how can I invest more time in my business. But you don't have to go around spending a ton of money right now if it's not in line with your goals. You know what I mean? Okay. Shazam.
Can I just say something too? Like when you guys are boosting your like pages, when are people online? So when are people feeling like they might want to start their weight loss venture? Whenever I boost a post, it's $5 a day on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's when most people are thinking about their weight loss goals. So it does not have to be a lot of money. Literally $15. I started $15 every other week. I always hit Success Club, and I always get people messaging me about challenge packs in my group. So keep it simple. It does not have to be a lot of money.
Right. Hi, my name is Sarah Griffith, and I'm one of Deidre's coaches. And I first want to tell you all congratulations. And I'm probably not going to learn when I say this, but all of you are my role model. I get on and I follow you because I want to duplicate you. From day one, I told Deidre, I'm going to be the next Marilyn Metro. And it's not because, I just think that I'm not, but I'm not. I'm no different than any of you, and neither are they. But they all showed us that this can be duplicated. So thank you for giving me that belief. Like it's in your, that fire in your belly where you're like, I'm just going to do this because I know I can. And that's because of you guys. So thank you for that. My question was similar to her question that she just asked about investing and hiring people because just like all the other people sitting here, I'm a full-time teacher. I'm getting my master's degree. I have a son, and I work my business every night from 8 o'clock until at least 11 or 12 o'clock at night. I get up at 4:30 and I work out. And I'm starting to see that it's taking its toll on my health after a year, kind of at the year mark. So I want to work smarter, not harder. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, where do I invest? Is it Elance? What is it? So you sort of did answer that question when she asked it, but I maybe want to ask you this. What is the best money you spend on your business? So just if you can go down the line, best money you spend.
I would say, when I hired somebody, I actually got this tip from Alyssa too, because I was like, Alyssa joined 2 months after me, and I was like, girl, instead of being envious of her, I was like, I'm just gonna ask her what she's doing. So I sent her a message, and I was like, what are you doing? Because I want to do whatever you're doing. So she's like, let me call you. So she got on the phone with me, and she told me about Elance, and I hired somebody to, actually, they don't post for me or anything. She just finds followers like they all talk about. And she's been doing it for me for over a year, and I have over 20,000 followers on Instagram. And I pretty much got, like, my business completely changed from that moment. Like, the moment that I did that, like, yeah. So that was probably the best money that I spent. Yes, pretty much everyone's from Instagram. So that's why I have coaches, like, all over the place. So.
Hi, I'm Kirsten. I actually haven't invested in Elance or any sort of marketing. I found that my biggest investment was personal development. So I'm reading books, I'm buying books all the time, doing that consistently. Also, I've invested in the products. I have every workout program, pretty much. I've done all of them. I know them all. I run a fit club. So it wasn't a monetary investment with the fit club, but it is a time investment, and I know that's where we struggle. But again, it goes back to that personal development. Craig Holliday did a call on time management. If anybody's listened to the 90-day series, you have to. 6 calls. I've listened to that time management call probably 5, 6, 7 times, because over the time of my business, my situation in my life has changed. So that time management has changed. And the one thing that he said, if you do not manage your calendar, you will not be successful in this business. So we worry about time so much. So you need to invest in your personal development, but you need to manage your time. So if you manage your time efficiently, you will create more time.
yourself?
Mine have probably had to be my Instagram account as well. I probably get, between my life page and my Instagram, it's probably Instagram by about 85%, and my life page is about 20% or 15% that I get from that. So I have somebody there. I actually had to cancel my first Instagram account because I was being harassed, and that had over 2,500 followers on there, and I deleted it. So I had to start from scratch, and since September, I've had somebody helping me build that up, and I'm up near 3,000 now. So honestly, and these are real people. They're not, I mean, Instagram is a whole sweep of fake people. So, and it was good to see that the numbers didn't drop that much. So obviously, she's reaching real people who follow. And you know, I post biblical stuff. I post my workouts. I post tips, and I throw in that right hook as far as fighting the challenge. That's pretty much where I get most of it.
The only investing that I do in my business is my like page. I boost posts and I boost my page. As far as your time management tips that I can give you, create really good quality posts and you can cross post. So you can use them on Pinterest. You can use them on your like page. You can use them on your blog.
That is a good one. One thing that I started doing to add on marches is, so you know how you can do an Instagram post in a square format? I started making everything a square format, whether it was for my like page or my personal page or my blog, so that way I could share them and they were in the proper format automatically.
Okay, so I think it's so hard for me to nail down what I think my best investment is. Can I really say that like my housekeeper? Or having like a nanny like for my kids? I mean, because when I started this business, like so many of you guys, I have my 3 kids. They're my #1 priority. And I was up, you guys, till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every single night. My kids would be up at 7, 8 in the morning, and I had to get up with them. And so I hired somebody to clean my house. I hired somebody to help me with my kids 3 days a week, so that I have set business hours. This is actually after I quit nursing and started doing this. So I have set business hours that I'm actually working my business really hard during the day, that I have somebody there to help me with my kids. And then also when leaves, I don't work. You know, I don't even have my phone. As a new coach, so many people, you're connected to your phone. After you've been in this business for a while, like my phone is not by me when I'm with my kids, because your coaches, your challengers, they will take over your whole entire life. If they want to join your challenge groups or coaching, they are going to be there hours later or the next day. So really, I think my biggest tip is, the biggest thing for me is like have a clean house. It's not clean maybe 2 hours after the lady leaves, but you know what, we got 2 bathrooms and that's fine. And that my time with my kids is precious and that's protected time now, where in the beginning it wasn't really protected time. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Elance or your blog or whatever, but things that will safeguard your time with your priorities, pay somebody else to do that.
You can see this trend, right? Because I'm going to follow up, same thing. My basically personal development. I've only ever invested in Instagram through Elance for I think it was about 4 months. That helps for sure. I'm going to definitely go back to that this year. But personal development, and I do the rest myself. I got an awesome tip from Deidre. She made this a cool binder and she shared it with our team. And literally, I have everything out from business aspect, goals, my team. So I just go in there 1 hour a day and I just set up new goals and I talk with my coaches. So that's my time management, is in that huge binder that I have. And then in the summertime, I invested in a nanny as well. And I knew my kids were having fun, so it's not like I felt like time was being taken away from me, because they're my priority too. But I could work and I could get it done while my kids were home from school in the summertime. And then, you know, I shut it off. So, you know, you see, we're all building this ourselves.
Okay, so I don't have a nanny. My kids do go to daycare 3 days a week though, and that's so not only I have time for myself, but I want them to learn and be social, and they have so much fun with it, so that worked for me. But I did invest into Elance at one time to help with Pinterest. Yeah, that was very unsuccessful. Be very careful who you get, because I had one of my coaches say, Deidre, have you looked at your Pinterest lately? And I said, no, why? And she said, well, the person you hired is posting a bunch of chocolate recipes and all these unhealthy treats. Fired. So I had to let her go. But now I did invest in an assistant. I was grateful to have my mother. So she is very supportive of me. She is my assistant. We strictly business, but she does help me. I do my blog on my own. I've done everything on my blog on my own, but she transfers everything from my blog to my Pinterest, to my like page, and she helps me with my followers on Instagram. I have told her exactly what I want. She knows me pretty well, so she knows exactly what I'm looking for, and that's how I have built quality and not quantity for Instagram. And that is important, because there's going to be times where you're going to hire someone from Elance and they're going to be following people who they have nothing to do with what you're even trying to look for. And it's not going to help the business. So try to go for quality and not quantity. And then, yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, we're good.
I haven't used Elance, and I think I'm doing okay. Honestly, the best investment I made, guys, is a $140 freaking challenge pack. I mean, that's a lot of money. Invest in the product, be the product of the product, be consistent. You don't need to hire out all the time. It depends on your goals. But you have to be you. If you want to be successful, you need to be you.
Hello. So kind of where you're at, when I started the first 7 months, I worked 60 hours a week. And my daughter was just turned 2, and she was in that. And I had a very unsupportive spouse at first. So he didn't want me on the computer in his home. And I'm not a 5 a.m. person. I'm working on it. But so for me, I did the power hour. That was like my biggest help. I turned off all my notifications. And I had a set time where I just go through, just like boom, 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 like every single group. I would just go through, answer all my messages. But my biggest investment, money-wise, was Elance or Instagram, because I hear a lot of people say that, you know, there's so many coaches on Facebook, all my friends are coaches, but there's millions of people out there, and there's millions of people that need our help. So Instagram is great because it's normal to like comment on people's photos when you don't know them. So I did the same thing I had to do for 5-6 hours a week, and I get a ton of new coaches and challenges from Instagram. And the other investment too is events. I really couldn't afford Summit at first, but I knew that, you know, if you really want to make this business, you have to be there. So I saved up and I went. So, and it's a game changer. So events, team calls, very good.
See, that's why we're twins. I'm Shannon Hargrave, and I was gonna say events definitely was my biggest investment. Like me being up here right now, I'm shaking right now because I'm so nervous. I am like super shy, and last year at the cruise, which was in March, I had dinner with Melanie and about 8 other coaches, and I like froze up when she asked me to say something in front of everybody because I didn't really know everybody. And it was only 8 people, but that's like how nervous I get. So me being up here right now is like just meeting all of these girls. Like all of you have like, I'm completely different now thanks to you guys. I'm really gonna cry. And I have to say thank you to Jamie Messina too, because she helped me so much on that cruise. Anyway, so that's it. Events, 100%. So yeah.
All right. We have time for one more question.
If you want, at the end, you can just grab whomever you'd like to talk.
Hi, I have more of a personal question. I just got started, just got enrolled, and I'm a high school math teacher, and it's only been 3 years. So I love my job, but I'm also getting married this year, and a lot of good things are happening, and kids is a conversation we're having, and so I see myself maybe wanting to stay home. And I guess personally, other than like the money, what was it for you that made you maybe decide like to stay home or just give up something that you worked so hard for at this point for Beachbody?
I didn't know it's the lifestyle. You know, I had a career before kids, and this is for anybody.
Yes.
I had a career before Beachbody and before kids, and now I can never see myself being an employee. I would be the worst employee for somebody. You know, I love being my own boss. I can work where I want, when I want, around my kids' schedules. It's the best of both worlds. I'm in complete control.
I want to just add to that real quick. I was a stay-at-home mom when I started as a coach, but my daughter's 5. She's going to go to kindergarten next year, and then soon off my son will go. And I didn't want to go back to work. I like being home and doing my own thing, even when I wasn't a coach. So now I can do that, you know, after years.
For me, I went back to school and got my master's in occupational therapy. And when I signed up as a discount coach, I was on the phone with Katie and Melanie, and I told them both, this will never be a full-time job. I love my job. I paid a lot of money. I have a lot of loans, and I'm super passionate about my job. The more I got involved with the company, I mean, I wasn't even looking at my paychecks because it was just fun for me and it kept me accountable. And then I started looking at my paychecks every week and I thought, wow, okay, this is going somewhere. But I got to all the events and I loved being part of it. I loved being part of something bigger, and I was looking at all the success of the people before me and the Success Club crews, and for me it was just things. It wasn't so much money. And then as my income grew and I realized that I could make this a full-time job, it became more about freedom. And it was really hard for me to make the decision to quit my job. I felt very guilty. No one was putting that pressure on me. I was putting it on myself because I spent so much time and energy and money on this degree that I was so passionate about. But you can't feel guilty about your passion changing. And I firmly believe that you should love what you're doing. And what had happened was I started to think about coaching all day when I was treating my patients. And that wasn't fair. And Katie said to me, and this really struck a chord with me, she said, when you are at your occupational therapy job, are you thinking about Beachbody? And I said, yes, all the time. And she said, when you're doing Beachbody, are you thinking about your OT job? I said, no. And so that was kind of a light bulb for me. So I'm still a therapist. I still plan to do as needed and work, you know, and not lose my skills. But I just think at the end of the day, you need to do what's right for you and your family and just follow your heart.
So I never knew I was leaving the classroom, and at leadership this year, I accidentally announced that I was leaving the classroom. So here's the truth. It was 2 years of consistency. Success Club 5 my first year while I was working full time because that's what I could handle. Success Club 10 this year while I was going through chemo at the minimum. And Success Club came just because I was doing what I was doing naturally. I don't handle the finances of the family, but Michael told me that we had a 360-something% increase in pay this year. I have triple my teaching income, and you know what teachers make. So it's been 2 years, and I was able to do that. The consistency was the key. But the biggest part is I don't believe that I'm not a teacher anymore. I believe my classroom has gotten bigger, and that I'm still teaching. So, because that's my passion at the end of the day. So if your passion is teaching, there's no reason why Beachbody can't be that.
I just want to thank you all for putting this together for us. It's just that you're taking the time out of your day to spend it with us, and I believe that our time is truly valuable. We can never give it back. I'm on the Shannon Hargrave's team, and my name is Emily. And so you always hear that you attract what you are. So I said to Shannon, you know, I must be a guy because I'm attracting all these guys. And there's a few of the girls on the team were wondering, you know, where are you placing the males who are joining your team? Are you putting them in with females who are hosting sweaty fits who might be uncomfortable with that? Or are you hosting separate groups?
I don't distract men.
Yeah, I guess I can relate to you more because you're a military spouse, and if you are attracting, you know, your husband's friends as well.
I mean, I've had a few men join my coaching team, but to be honest, they've all fallen off. So I really can help you out. I have a couple coaches on my team who they want to attract men, they're trying, and I've had them run a couple very successful men's challenge groups. But yeah, I think that we definitely had a couple men in some challenge groups because I run my groups with my whole team. And no one's ever mentioned that they're uncomfortable or anything, but it's not anything really common.
Okay, so you're just putting them all in as one big happy challenge group.
Yeah, I do have a few males on my challenge or on my coaching man in my challenge group, and I like to let them take the lead a little bit because they give a different vibe than what we do. And I think that's what's helped attract more males on our team is because of, you know, the first male coach that I ever had. He's very inspirational and into his personal development. So I think that that has helped a lot. It's just letting them take the lead a little bit. And I do the challenge groups together. I have, I think, 6 male coaches in my current challenge group, and they're loving it. They're just make sure that they try to really get involved because men always go to men, and it's hard for women or for men to go to women. I don't know why they all are attracted to you. I don't know. You're hot.
I want to learn so much about the clean eating and what to eat, and you know, that's mainly what the questions have been, like how to cook an easy meal. Being a single guy or even with a 2-person family, I think that's their way in.
Yeah, mine aren't single. Those men on my, I have a coach in my group or on my team that is a manager of local gym.
Okay.
And it's just from training with him, and he loved to see that I incorporated Shakeology, and he is very into clean eating. And he saw the ingredients in Shakeology and realized, holy crap, like you are taking some awesome stuff. And he said, I want you to incorporate this twice a day into your regimen as you're prepping for your figure competition. And he saw me get results with my clean eating and getting that Shakeology in twice a day and doing, every morning I do a cardio program from Beachbody. I told him I want to incorporate my Beachbody as much as I possibly can for my show. And I showed him that you get results from it. And now he's like, I'm sharing this with my clients now, and now he does that. So
I think the most important thing is to treat them just like a regular challenger and ask, you know, if you get enough guys, then just start a men's clean eating challenge, you know, maybe gear it toward if they're busy and they need quick meals, maybe that's your market. You tend to pull that. If you just get a few, then just say, are you okay with being in this group? And just give them the option, you know. But I think either way is fine. I have lots of guys in my groups. Usually there's like 1 or 2 in every challenge group. They post just right alongside the women, and they have a great time, and they've got their Twice Friday posts, and you know, it works perfect.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I just was gonna make an announcement real quick. So in the back of the room, there are t-shirts on sale. There's the Dream Team t-shirts, and then there's actually, if you're a Diamond coach, there's a couple of Diamond t-shirts left.
They were 10. Okay, I think they were 10. So there's a couple left.
My husband's back there, so if you wanted one of those shirts, you need to get back there. And there's a couple of not. Oh wait, he's not back there, but he's walking back there. Never mind.
And the Dream Team are 20, in case you are wondering what the
Dream Team are 20, and I have no idea what the Knockout Brigade are. I'm sorry.
if you're on Forever Fit and you're a diamond, do not go get a diamond t-shirt because I have one for you.
All right, so
Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I hope that you found this extremely beneficial. Let's give these wonderful ladies a round of applause. We're music leaders. I'm very blessed to be able to be alongside of them, and I learned just as much from them as I've been able to give them. So before you leave, can we take a big group picture? Can you please? All right. So, ladies on our wall, can you just stand up and stand straight across the front, and she's going to take the picture facing out. So everybody will do one sitting, and then we'll stand. And then after that, you're more than welcome to mix and mingle for a little bit, and then head out for the rest of the day. All right, let's get on down. Okay. You know what, guys? I think you guys need to stand up. Find up there. All right. All right, ready? You know what, while we're waiting, you guys want to kind of condense the middle?
Yeah, it's not live here, but.
Sorry. Yes.